Pollock. Hello, and welcome to the Saladcast on Saturday, the 5th of February, 2011. I'm your host, Dan Train. Joining me today, Zachary Burgess.
Hello, for the second podcast of 2011 in February.
In February, that's true. And Robert Kemp.
Charmed. Welcome to Radio 4.
Welcome to Radio 4. What's going on? Are we getting lax or something? It's only been, it's been 2 weeks.
It's been 2 weeks since the last one. We had a bit of a break before the last one we did.
That's true. We had like a 3-week break, but really, it ought to be more often than every 2 weeks, oughtn't it? By our usual schedule.
Probably.
So let's get back on track. Anyway, well, this is close enough. This is us ramping up to being back on track in 2011.
So yes, so before we start the show, everyone, we'd like to give you a little insight into our self-motivational techniques. It's like, let's be less crap. Okay, moving on.
That's how we do it. Okay. So how is everyone? I can't believe it's been a whole month of 2011. Doesn't even seem like
no, it's a bit weird.
Real year. Yeah.
It's not a real year. It's a fake year. It's one they made up. We're in the Matrix or something, or we're in a dream within a dream. Fucking blah.
Well, we still don't have a name for this decade, do we? The noughties
tenties,
but welcome to the tenties. Month 2.
We're in year 2021.
2021. We should all be living in tents, though, and we're not. I'm still in a house. I don't know about you guys.
Well, it wouldn't make much sense if we called it the housies.
No, that's true. Anyway, so
the housies. I don't know what would you call it. Were the tenties or the ones, or just the tens?
The ones.
Maybe.
The ones doesn't work though, because they'd have to be all one. Like, I mean, 2011 works because it is a one, but 2012. Why is it that 2012 sounds so much cooler than 2011? Is it that
because 11 has loads of syllables?
Yeah, that's true. There's only 2 syllables in. How many syllables in 2012?
3.
2012, 3. Yeah. Yes, that is superior.
11. There's 5, and
that's way too many. Way too many syllables for a year.
Then again, we used to say like things like 1994, which is 5.
No, we didn't. We just said 94, didn't we?
Oh, okay.
It's the thing. Everything was shortenable at the time. Now we have to say 01 or. And you can't even say you have to say 11. Yeah, that doesn't work at all, does it? 12. Back in 12, I was doing this. Yeah, it's not going to work, is it? And it's especially confusing, of course, for sports-based computer games. FIFA 11, so that's the 11th FIFA game, right? No,
it's short for 2011, but they just couldn't be bothered to bring back the 2000 after a while. They did it for a bit, didn't they? Like calling games like FIFA 2000 or FIFA, or did they just go FIFA 0?
Well, what did they do for like NHL 02 or something?
2001.
2001.
Yeah, no, they were. The NHL games were labelled 2000 and stuff because we used to play 2002, didn't we?
Yeah, was that the one?
Yeah, that was the one.
I really like that. I mean, and even like I had all that cool like game card like collecting thing in the menus where you could collect little
that were completely random, and
or...
you could use them in the middle of a match to boost that player.
Why haven't they kept that? That was cool. I presume they haven't, because I haven't seen.
I suppose it wasn't really realistic, but it was cool. I mean, 2002, in terms of what I consider the NHL series to be, was a proper game. You know what I mean? And then they went down EA's like. At that point, it still wasn't particularly realistic, but was fun. And then every game after that, they decided to sort of slowly move towards more and more realism in it.
Is that what they're like now?
It's gradually got less and less fun.
When did they introduce the whole sort of skill shot thing with the right?
Fairly recently.
Oh, is that recent? Okay. I don't know. To be honest, I got really frustrated with 2002 because I was really crap at it, and I know
it was all about killing people.
Yeah, you had to bash everyone out, which is cool, but I could never get it to go in the goal.
And it made satisfying sounds, and the crowd was hilarious, and the announcers were hilarious. It was genius.
And you added all that because you had the PC version.
Oh yeah, we changed all the soundtrack so it was even more awesome.
I don't know why, but that Chemical Brothers track you put in the menu just suited it absolutely perfectly. Was that in the game, or was that you?
No, it wasn't. We added that.
Yeah, it was block rocking beats. And because the game would fade in the music and stuff, wouldn't it? And do all that to it properly.
Then it would when you import the track importer, sort of like when you put it into the thing, you could set how much reverb you wanted on the track, so you could still hear it, but enough so it sounded like it was in the stadium and things like that. So you could.
That's really.
It gave you the control to sort of tweak it yourself.
That kind of stuff's awesome. I mean.
But it was kind of funny because we messed it up slightly in the sense that we made it whenever the away team scored a goal, there was always a slightly sarcastic song playing, like the Chicken and Ham song from South Park or
South Park, yeah.
Chicken and Ham.
That was awesome.
Yeah, and you had the cool music for the home team.
So Zach, did you copy those files off Rob when you played it on your PC?
Yes,
have the same sound.
I just took that exact copy basically.
Because it was awesome. Yes, it's good
also
to be able to
because
modify
it was like we were trying to continue our never-ending league.
We never finished one.
No, we never got close.
I have trouble with sports games. I don't know. Can you do with soccer games now? Can you do like ladders and stuff and
Presumably, I don't know. I don't really play footy games.
No, me either. Anyway, so video games that we have been playing. Let's move on to that, shall we?
Talking about year games though, there was a slew of games, wasn't there, where they came up with like lengthy dated names like Wipeout 2097 or whatever, and it's like somehow I suppose because they went for 97. There's something about the 90s maybe that sounds okay, or anything with a T in it.
Yeah, maybe.
2097 doesn't sound too bad, but it's a bit long-winded. 2097.
Yeah, presumably that was 100 years after the year it was released, was why they chose the name. Because you know why they chose the name? We didn't mention it when we were talking about San Francisco Rush, but 2049 is, of course, because the gold rush was in 1849, and that's why the gold miners were called 49ers, because that was the year. And so that's why it's called 2049, because it's a second rush. Or whatever.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's the logic behind that particular year. But
genius.
Yeah.
That's more genius than it probably deserves.
Yeah, probably.
Is Battlefield 3 going to be 2042? Lol.
Oh gosh, have you seen that?
It's modern, but they could probably get away with making it slightly future modern.
They've announced that now.
Finally some stuff is happening.
Yeah, stuff. They've announced a website and they've cancelled 1943 on the PC, so they can concentrate on it, which is good. Which is good.
Well, it's both annoying and kind of, it didn't make any sense why it was taking so long in the first place.
That's true. Like, why couldn't they? It should have been immediate, or at least like a month after, or something. It's a bit mysterious, and everyone was hoping for it for so long. It was really weird, and it wouldn't have been that great if it did come out.
1942, you news.
Yeah,
but it's a graphic update, and it's still a good game, and there's no, and they already made it on X. Yeah, but they already made it on Xbox, if you know what I mean. And, well, to be fair, half the maps in 1942 were utter shite, but.
Yeah, but they only had some of the Pacific maps on 1943, and they were some of the best ones. Yeah, they were the good ones often. And it had the planes, which are cool.
They didn't have Berlin, and that's obviously the most important map.
But,
even though the AI was terribly retarded.
But it was all Pacific, though, wasn't it? So they couldn't have had Berlin even if they wanted to. They would have to have made Germans and German tanks and uniforms and things and all those assets.
I don't know.
And stuff.
Maybe I'm getting a little bit confused, because if they made it for Xbox, and presumably once you've made something for Xbox, the port to PC must be quite easy because they're very similar. And
You'd think so. I don't know what the reason was. Anyway,
the number of times people have ported from consoles and totally screwed everything up.
That's true.
Well, yeah, that has happened a bit. Lazy ports, because it depends what optimization. We've talked about this before, but it depends what optimizations they make to get it super sweet on the console that you can't make on the PC.
Dug up Battlefield 1942's original PC files and then just updated all the models.
It's not as simple as that, is it? Maybe none of it was that easy.
Well, they moved it into
apart from
Frostbite,
maybe not making it run on XP and 7. That might be the problem.
Does it not run on 7?
It does run on XP, so
so it's probably okay in 7 then. Yeah. But anyway, they moved it to run on the Frostbite engine as well, didn't they? Because they'd already written that and for the modern consoles, so they thought maybe it was an easier job rather than porting the old game.
Well, you can play that Vietnam thing, Battlefield Bad Company 2 Vietnam expansion on the PC. Apparently it's really good, so I think you can play it on PC. It was on Steam.
Yeah, I can't say I've seen it, but...
Yeah, interesting. Did you see the teaser trailer for Battlefield 3? It's like really short and it has no gameplay or anything. It's just a load of, this is going to be modern combat or whatever. But the funny thing is the music, because what they've kind of done, it's only like, I don't know, 20 seconds long, but they've taken that da-dum-dum, 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 and they've made it kind of ominous by making it all one pitch. So it goes like this, da-dum-dum, 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 da-dum-dum. And the problem with that is it sounds exactly like da-dum, dum, da-dum, da-dum, dum, da-dum, which is the Terminator theme. It's really weird. It's like, why are you playing the Terminator theme? And then I had to listen to it for quite a while before I realised that it was actually the Battlefield theme, but really it had the same beat.
Single-noted.
It's got like an extra beat. Because if you listen to the 1942 theme, it actually is quite similar to the Terminator theme, except more jaunty and more
but if it, the annoying thing is
one again. Really?
Yeah, true.
The sort of Arabized version.
Yeah, it had that Arabized version, yeah. And did it have a Chinesey version? It must have done.
Kind of, but not as obviously.
It wasn't the same tune, I don't think. They had a Chinese theme, but I don't think it was quite so.
That's right, it wasn't like because that was like a remix, wasn't it? The Arab version of the Battlefield theme, yeah. I don't know.
Or just take 2142s, because those were awesome.
The problem is, so far, the Battlefield's like artwork and stuff. The stuff they've released for Battlefield 3 is so bloody derivative. There's just that standard mopey soldier walking towards the camera.
Yeah,
that Call of Duty has done before, and I'm sure something else ripped that off quite recently as well. So it's just mopey soldier walking at camera.
I think it's kind of a shame that Call of Duty have gone away from their classic man shouting at the camera and pointing towards the combat. That was brilliant. They should have done that with Modern Warfare, having like what's his name, McTavish or Captain Price.
No.
Well, because Price was in the Price was actually in the original Call of Duty, but
hopefully not the same Price.
No, it was, but he looked identical. He had the same tash. He was actually in those old games, but it's a different character now, but still called Price and still with the crazy moustache. But yeah, they could have him on the box shouting and pointing at, I don't know, a nuclear bomb going off or something. Yeah, that would have been funny, but no. Now they have to have the classic. Have you seen this? Like a bit of a meme about that, actually, the way that all those games have the same cover of the man walking through the sort of smoky haze with the
mopey soldier.
Yeah, with the stuff behind. Yeah, it's the same with Bad Company 2, and which is weird because that game could have had a more comedy cover, couldn't it? Or at least, I don't know, because of the characters being a bit
they could have done.
Could have done something a bit more interesting, but no, they had to have Mopey Soldier because it sells, presumably. Don't quite know why.
Or maybe it's because when you see that, you automatically associate, it's going to be a game like Modern Warfare or something.
Yeah, but damn.
And that's probably why Battlefield 3 is modern instead of doing something else again. Mind you, they've kind of run out of options at this point.
Yeah, they kind of have.
Like, they've already covered past, present, and future, and it's like, well, I guess we'll just go back to present again then, since everyone seems to like that.
Yeah, you don't want to go further back in time. Battlefield World War One would be really crap.
But they did that as a mod for Battlefield 1942.
Somebody did they?
It was difficult to play. Because you know how, like, the planes in 1942 were already pretty fucked up, and then you turn, like, the airspeed down even lower. It's like, if you slow down at all, you just fall out of the sky.
What, like Sopwith camels and things, and Fokker triplanes, and that would be quite fun. Yeah. But it'd be that the tanks would be so unbelievably massive and hilarious, and they have about 5 occupants or something. That'd be quite fun. I mean, you'd have to have, like, realistic mud simulation and stuff like that to have, destructible terrain so that you could blow up, use shells to... Because the artillery in 1942 was a nightmare, wasn't it? Do you remember trying to spot for artillery and actually trying to hit people?
It was totally awesome, though. Basically, the only problem with artillery was, like, you had to get the one where... It was because, like, it was two-seater, where it's like one guy was driving and one guy was actually firing.
Yeah.
But the gun was fixed to only point forwards, so you had to rely on the person driving to aim.
Either that, or you had to keep getting out and into the other seat. Or, oh no, you had to you press the button.
You had to steal it and then like park it on top of a hill somewhere out of the way where no one else could jump in and fuck you up, and then just aim it yourself.
But it took ages. But the AI was actually quite good at using it, as opposed to everything else that the AI did, which was a nightmare. Yeah. But it could actually kill you with that Wesp thing or whatever it was. Was it called the German artillery gun that always just kill you out of the blue?
Something like that.
Playing with AI, something like that. Anyway, classic. Yeah, they've never really got artillery to work that well. I mean, does Battlefield 3 even have 2 even have artillery? It has those artillery that you can deploy. Or whatever,
there's the orbital drops, isn't there?
Yeah.
But
and the
not actually as a unit.
Yeah, not actually as a drivable unit. They were just like at your base, and those special forces guys would occasionally go and blow them up.
Particularly on the goddamn beach assault level where they're right in the open and right next to a cap point. So it's like they're constantly dead.
Yeah.
And then you drop a supply crate next to them to auto repair them.
Was that how you did it?
Best tactic ever.
They need to.
Or
work
if you're
on
a real
whole...
bastard as a support, as a stealth guy, you go and blow them up with your C4. Then wait for the commander to inevitably drop a supply crate onto the repair them. Then resupply your C4 off the supply crate and blow them all up again.
Just wait, hang around there. Because you could be like a lone wolf on that game quite easily. Because some of those levels were so huge that you could just bum around in the enemy base, couldn't you? Really. You probably wouldn't even be noticed because everyone that spawns there just gets straight in a vehicle and drives off towards the fight. So you could just hang around bombing stuff, couldn't you?
And there's less sort of scanning and shit like in 2142 where it's like, if you're playing Commander, you're basically never looking at anything apart from the map, and you're like constantly running the scan, the instead of the UAV, the like sweep scan that scans the whole map. So you're like, you can see where everyone is. It's like, oh look, there's one of those bastards at my base.
Yeah, that's better.
I should point it out.
What would you do in Battlefield 3 to improve the commander mode? Because it does work.
Yeah, it's alright actually, but
it still needs to be better. I mean, it's such a cool idea. Obviously, it's everyone's dream is to play Command and Conquer, but have all the little people be actual people and order them around. It's an amazing idea, but in practice, like in 2, you just got lots of votes, and I don't know. I don't think people understood how to do
really
it.
Go to work because it's just like you can never. The whole idea of like having a commander who's like aware of the battlefield or whatever, you're never actually aware. It's like you can tell, say like go and attack this point. And it's like, but actually the people who are actually fighting know better what they want to do because it's like maybe they can see enemies and stuff. Even if you're scanning, you can never actually tell how it's going to go.
That's true, and you can't
go to a point.
You can't really do any kind of strategic maneuvers because the point that you're supposed to assault next is usually pretty obvious, isn't it, to everyone? What the next one is. There's usually an option of about 2 that you could go for. You could either defend this one or... Well, I mean, it's nice to know that you need to defend a point, but then, I mean, that's obvious as well, because as soon as they get into range of the point, then that appears on your map as a soldier, doesn't it? That it's being taken, so you just rush back over there. So, what could the commander tell you, that you wouldn't already know? Or that would actually be helpful?
Well, that's why it's like on 22, it's just all the spotting constantly, particularly for like where there's like single guys sneaking around. Not that anyone ever really pays attention to that either, but it's just like make people aware that there's some stealth guys trying to sneak around the back or something.
So the commander could like click on, once it done a scan, could like spot.
Once it does the sweep, if it picks up a dot, you just right click on it and then like spot it.
And then that'll appear on everyone's radar.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but then you're not much of a commander. You're more of a spy.
A recon dude.
Yeah, I mean, which is fair enough. I mean, that could be a legitimate role, I think. You could be the UAV guy, and you could just sit in the UAV's truck in your base, and just do reconnaissance rather than trying to command people. That might make more sense because no one wants to be told what to do they? Really, they want to be doing it of their own agenda. Although the squad system's cool. How could you improve that for Battlefield 3? I don't know. I hope it's good, basically. Yeah.
It was like it finally started making sense in 2142 where you could drop spawn beacons and they were orbitally deployed. It was like, yes, logic, instead of like blokes randomly appear next to the commander. Just like ding.
Yeah, that's a lot better.
Not that they didn't do that as well if you hadn't destroyed the Swan Beacon, but
yeah, you could just spawn on your squad leader, couldn't you?
yes.
Hey, maybe they should make it so you can only be a commander if you have a voice headset, and the only way you can tell people what to do is using voice rather than with icons and stuff. So you have to actually click on the squad and then give them a transmission. And also the transmission is like deliberately kind of garbled, so it sounds like it's over a bad radio. Whatever.
And you have to speak in code, so they
yeah. and the game tells you what the codes are or whatever. And not
but
like
then they'd have to know the codes as well.
Yeah, but it would come up or whatever. I don't know. Or it would have some kind of I don't know. Maybe they would have to know the codes. Yeah, that's true. That'd be so cool though if you could if you were like a squad commander and you actually got proper orders over the radio and then you had to respond like a 10-4.
I'd say, you're stupid.
This is dumb.
I'm not going to do that.
Yeah. just disobey orders, basically. Yeah. I don't know. It'd be cool if it worked, which it wouldn't. So don't do that. Oh man, I hope it's good though. I look forward to it. Because there's got to be something other than TF2 in the history of, the future. Or be
The history
TF3.
of future.
It's just TF2 now, isn't it? That's all you need to do on PC, anyway.
Pretty much. Although Zach has dipped he's moved into the bloody rival territory of Monday Night Combat.
Oh, you've actually
Hardly
tried this,
rival.
have you? So how's it going with that?
It's kind of hilarious, but obviously it's never going to defeat TF2, obviously.
But it's fun, though.
Yeah, it's kind of awesome. Kind of
Oh, cool.
hilariously ridiculous. Definitely ridiculous. Where it's just like everything's so like it's like Team Fortress has characters or whatever, where it's like the engineer is like this Texas guy and the scout is a punk or whatever.
Yeah, from Brooklyn or wherever he's from.
But then
Or
like
the Bronx, I think.
it's sort of even more exaggerated in Monday Night Combats, where it's like the enemy engineer support guy is so very Italian.
That's no good though, because Italians can't make things. Everything Italian falls apart, doesn't it? That's a stereotype, isn't it?
He's like coffee and
Coffee.
coffee. That's basically it. No, I don't guess he doesn't say coffee that much. That's just like his when you do your Uber thing with the juice. He's like, it's like my heart is drinking 1,000 espressos, and then you go cooking people.
So it has an equivalent of the Uber, which is called juicing, is it?
Sort of. It's like your personal Uber. It's like you build it up from doing good, I guess. And when you destroy enemies and the robots and stuff, they drop normally money, but occasionally you get the juice pickups as well, so you can pick those up for a bit more. And then once you've filled up your bar, you push the button and go insane. It's like you get all your health back, you get more armor, you move super quickly, and you get the incredibly high damage on your bullets. So it's just like charge, and then you just murder everyone.
So it's like a crazy quad damage situation.
Yeah, basically.
Awesome.
And then so that the whole idea of the game, where it's like I didn't really know what the fuck it was initially. But then once they actually put that video up on Steam, where it says on that Kotaku quote, where it's like Dota or whatever, and I've never actually played Dota or any of the relevant games related to it, like League of Legends or whatever. But as soon as it said that, I was like, oh right, now it sort of makes sense. It's like I know what that game is about, and I understand the idea of this mechanic.
I thought Dota was like a Warcraft 3 mod or something.
Yeah, it is.
How is that like TF2? What?
It's like TF2 combined with Dota. It's like you basically it's like you have the two teams' bases obviously, and you have to destroy the thing in the middle, the money ball, a big ball of cash.
Okay.
It's all about money. But
okay.
But the only way you can get through the shields of the money ball is if your robots get in there and take it down. And like, so the robots just spawn out of your base constantly and then walk down these predefined routes. And then obviously the two teams robots meet in the middle and just destroy each other, basically. So the idea is you have to get out there and like assist your robots to gradually push into the enemy base so they can take down the shields, and then everyone just beats the shit out of the money ball.
Oh, okay.
So that's where the like Dota comparison comes in, cause with like the lanes and everything. And then obviously you set up base defense turrets in your base and stuff, upgrade those as well. With using your money.
There's a sort of random similarity with the multiplayer on Future Cop. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was the thing I was thinking of.
You could spawn robots from your base and they'd just blindly charge at the enemy.
And like killing the enemy robot was like that was the big win. It's like that's the same sort of thing in Dota and Monday Night Combat, where it's like obviously killing the enemy players gives you a lot larger advantage in terms of cash and having one of them out of the way for a moment. So grinding the robots is like the main way you get cash, where it's just like kill some shit and then you upgrade your dude, or you upgrade your base defense turrets, and then your skills get better, and then you start running into other, and then like class balance or whatever. Obviously, that's the important thing. And it's pretty balanced.
Other robots don't have classes, do they? They're just robots.
Well, they do. You get like you're the ones that just randomly spawn out of your base constantly. Is like these two kinds, where it's like a little mini one and then a sort of medium one. That's not really very descriptive, but it's just like two kinds of robots. And they're just general sort of short range laser and a melee attack kind of robots. And then each class on your team, which there's six different classes of player character. You can go to like the robot spawn door in your base and pay some money to make another robot that's specific to your class.
Oh, okay.
So that's another place where you can invest some of your money to like alter the like what kinds of robots are attacking. So it's like the support guy has like an artillery robot, and then like the ninja assassin person has like stealth robots and stuff.
So are the robots a lot easier to kill than players, presumably?
Most of them. There's some of the robots are hardier than others, and then of course every like 5 minutes or so, your base spawns the Giganto robot. It's called the Jackbot, where it's just like this giant thing, and it has a shit ton of health, and it just like stomps everything.
Is it like a commander from City Blood?
Yeah, sort of.
Stomp. Oh,
and then obviously when you kill that, you get a shit ton of cash. The jackpot, lol.
So what classes have you been playing then?
I've mostly only been playing support, because it's like, okay, so there's these 6 classes, and it's like, so you've got the assassin, which is the equivalent of the TF2 spy, basically.
Yeah.
Only it's more like spy crossed with scout, because it's insanely fast, and you can cloak.
Okay.
So it's like, you just have to be sprinting around cloaked, and then try and backstab people, because it instant kills them or whatever. Except that's the weird thing about the assassin in Monday Night Combat, is that when you get into the backstab, it's not like instant like TF2. It's like got an animation, so if people are paying attention, they can like shoot you off them just to save them in time.
Like in Halo Reach.
Like when you attempt to assassinate in Reach. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
And then
That's
like
cool.
the cloak makes a noise, and so you can detect them, and then once they get close, they shimmer a bit, so you can see where they are, so you can try and stop them.
But on the other hand, they're incredibly fast, so that makes it.
Yeah, that gives them a lot of maneuverability, and they have like a couple of their skills are for like escaping and that sort of thing. So that's like the assassin, and then you've got the other ones. You've got the normal assault guy, where it's just like machine gun and grenade launcher, sort of the equivalent of the Derek Man, conveniently since he's black as well.
Okay.
He's like general guns. Doesn't
General
really do
guy,
anything particularly interesting.
Because that's quite unique for TF2, the fact that it doesn't have any class with a decent assault rifle, machine gun type thing.
Yeah.
Which I think is great. It's a really good thing. But I mean, yeah, mix it up.
But this has quite a lot more sort of gun. I don't know. When I played him, I normally use the grenade launcher instead of the machine gun. Really, I mean it's splash damage, and you have to directly hit because the grenades kind of bounce awkwardly out of the way normally if you don't actually hit the target.
Right.
But
is it easier to hit someone?
And stuff.
Is it easier to hit someone directly than with a demo man grenade?
Yeah, I'd say so, probably.
Cool, that's good.
So I
find that quite hard.
And then there's the 2 heavy classes, which are tank, which is like the equivalent of it's sort of a pyro crossed with a heavy, where it's like flamethrower, but he's quite heavily armored. and his secondary weapon is like a railgun, so it's got a sort of element of sniping in there as well.
So presumably he's not as slow as a heavy, because otherwise you'd never get close enough to flame anyone, would you?
Yeah, he's sort of moderately fast, sort of medium speed. And he has like a charge attack where you can cover the ground really quickly and like knock people off the level.
That'd be cool if heavies could charge, wouldn't it? Of course, that would be
it's like the speed clubs and stuff. Lol.
Yeah.
It's more like the Dairyland charge, I guess. And then you've got the actual heavy class, the gunner, who's just like basically exactly like the heavy minigun.
Minigun like, and slow and big.
Stand there and just. Although his minigun's quite funny because it fires faster the longer you fire it. So instead of just spinning up, it's like you fire it and it's like.
Yeah, awesome. That's cool.
And then you can upgrade to like dual minigun.
Oh, a bit like the minigun from Quake 2. Do you remember that? Because it sort of went.
Yeah.
I can't remember what his secondary weapon is now that I think about it. It's Oh wait, he has like a. It's another kind of grenade launcher, basically. It's called mortars, but it's really just more like grenades.
Okay. That sounds fun.
Well, the interesting thing about all this is when I played the demo on Xbox, I really didn't think it worked. I didn't think it hung together at all, and the balance. Basically, every game I played in was a complete walkover for one team. There was never a sort of there was no sort of like to and fro in the match or something. One team would just immediately walk over, and it seemed too complex to sort of think, oh, now I need to upgrade this, now I need to do that, now I need to do that, blah blah blah. It didn't seem. Everything seems too fast and too complicated and too. I don't know. Maybe it's because of the Xbox control interface and the way you did things and the giant menus that take up the entire screen. I don't know. It just bits. I didn't think it worked at all, but I'm getting the complete different impression about the PC version from what Zach says.
It's like I don't think I've ever really seen any matches that haven't lasted the entire 20 minutes. It's like I mean, you do kind of get like I've had several matches where like one team will push in sort of midway through the game, do some damage to the money ball, and then the defending team is like, oh shit, and then they actually build tons of defences, but then they can't actually push forward either, so it just goes to time, and then the team who did some damage wins. It's just like, so normally it's like, and the other problem is, I don't know, it seems like you get too much money towards the end game. Maybe that's just the servers I'm playing on again. Because I think the one I'm playing on has it so you can't buy juice, which is one of the options. The server I've been playing on mostly, and I assume that's where most of the money goes towards the end of the game. Because after you've upgraded all your base defense turrets and all of your personal skills, it's like, what else are you going to spend it on?
So what's the problem with having? So what's the problem with everyone having too much money at the end of the game? Does it actually change the game?
It just means that there's no more chance for it to become less balanced. It's like everyone has their personal skills to maximum. So it's like there's no.
So you don't lose anything by dying then?
No, not your skills or anything. I guess you don't lose anything. You don't lose money. I mean, you give the enemy team money by dying, obviously.
Ah, right, yeah.
That's the Dota comparison again.
But you don't lose your own money?
No.
Okay.
And then, I just want to complete my initial thing of the last two classes. There's Sniper, obviously, which is just exactly the same as the TF2 Sniper Rifle, basically. It's like Sniper Rifle and submachine gun. How it could be conveniently similar.
Does it have the power-up thing while you're zoomed in?
No, it's just insta-headshot if you headshot them, which is kind of nice as well, because it's like... particularly if it's like a gunner basically standing still, it's like, ding!
But can you no-scope? Like,
you can, fairly effectively, but it's not incredibly accurate when you're no-scoping, obviously. Not Counter-Strike no-scoping, where it's just like, it fires to the exact same place. If you just put a dot on the middle of the screen, you can totally own everyone.
Yeah, that used to be so funny. I used to have like a sound effect on my computer, which was just the sound of the AWP elephant gun thing going off, and then terrorists win. Because that's basically how it was.
And then the last class is the one that I've been playing the most, the support dude, which is like engineer, crossman, medic. You have a minigun, basically, as your primary weapon. Except you can also use the secondary fire on that to steal health from enemies. So it's like
a leech.
It's a heal and hurt gun, conveniently. And then your secondary weapon is just a shotgun, and then you like deploy turrets and stuff, or a turret. So that's the class I've been playing mostly and totally owning with, which is pretty funny. Where it's like 20 kills and 2 deaths, compared to most other people on the team dying 10 times or whatever.
Why was that? Because the class is easy to, I don't know, to get the best out of, or is it just?
I don't know. I think
good from TF2, or
I don't know. I don't know why I like that class so much. I mean, I don't like the gunner or the heavy or the assassin for the same reason I don't like heavy or spy in TF, because it's like too slow, or I'm really shit at being stealthy.
Yeah.
So those 3 are out. So that leaves me with like assault, sniper, or support. It's like I play sniper sometimes when our team doesn't have one. It's like, or there's like too many supports already. Because I mean, having a sniper, reasonably good sniper, can be, because of the instant headshot thing, that can be pretty deadly. But support is just like, because of the deploying the turret, if you can get your turret into a decent position where the enemies can't easily shoot it, it can just decimate stuff. Particularly the robots.
It's not like TF2 where everyone knows where the turret points usually are.
No,
and everyone knows how to deal with them.
I mean, you can
you can Uber the turret like by juicing it, can you?
Well, no, that's only for you. But the turret, I mean, once it
but I mean, if you wanted to destroy a turret in Mon-dead combat, you could attack
with your
pop your juice and then go in and take it down.
Colour.
But playing support with the juice in support is pretty funny, because the juiced up shotgun is ridiculously powerful. It's pretty powerful. That's the other thing that's sort of different about this compared to TF2 is like the engineer shotgun, in TF2 is like not actually very powerful really.
No.
But in this, it's like even non-juiced, you can like take out a tank in 2 decent shots. But then juiced is like take out anything in 1 shot.
So the support is like a combat class as well.
Well, they're all quite combat-y, which is the thing. Right. It's like there's not really any guns that don't do quite a lot of damage.
I see. So there's no weak characters.
There's no weak, individual weak, apart from maybe the sniper. It's like if you get into any sort of real combat with a sniper, you're totally fucked. Because his submachine gun is it's got the shortest clip ever. It's like, you just go, and it's done. It's like, no, I have to reload, fuck.
Oh dear.
But then the other thing that makes maybe my support playing more effective is you get like perks, basically. To use the classic thing.
Call of Duty style.
Yeah. Where you basically make a custom character thing where you choose one of the classes, and then you choose like 3 of these endorsements because they're like from these fake ridiculous brands.
Sponsors.
Yeah, sponsors basically.
Okay.
Where it's like, there's things like accuracy or reload speed or whatever. But then the ones I have for my support guy is like, I have armor, so I just get more health as my gold endorsement, because it's like rated gold, silver, bronze, so you get like the most effect, and then like medium effect and least effect of the 3 that you choose.
I see. Okay.
So I have like gold armor, so I just have more health. Silver skill recharge, so my skills recharge quicker, and then bronze. I can't remember. Oh yeah, bronze juice, so you get a little tiny bit of extra juice. I did have bronze critical shots, but I never saw myself get a single critical shot, so I was like, is that actually working? Because normally only the assault gets critical shots from his. No, I don't know if it's only the assault. The assault is the main one who gets critical shots because he has skills for upgrading critical shots.
Right. Yeah.
So I changed off critical shots and changed it to extra juice, and I don't know. I think it's the armor thing that mainly helps me, because assassins, when they do the backstab, it's like instantly fatal, or well, not instantly after the animation.
Yeah, after the animation. Yeah.
But then, if you can whip around quick enough and force them to accidentally or just force them to front stab you,
yeah.
With my like gold armor up there, I'm not sure if they normally kill you if you didn't have it, but with my gold armor upgrade, it's like, oh look, you've taken off 3 of my health. Now this animation is over, and I'm just going to stand up and shotgun you at point blank range in the face. Bang.
Okay.
Because it's that moment when the animation finishes and your guy gets up, and then you're just basically standing right next to each other.
Yeah.
So if you have the shotgun out, you're just like, bang.
So,
and as
is it because you hear them decloaking and then you just spin around?
They don't even have to decloak to start the stab animation, but you can hear them coming easy enough.
Right.
But it's as I was saying to Rob, I think that's maybe one of the reasons why, because they made that post on Penny Arcade about how they were balancing for the PC version.
Right.
Whereas like we made the sniper rifle have a lower clip because it's easier to aim. So, it was way too powerful to have that many bullets. We have to make you reload more frequently, whatever. But as I was saying to Rob, it's like, I think that's one of the other things that maybe has changed the balance slightly in the PC version, is now you can turn around without having to use the controller or using the mouse. You can turn around much quicker. So as soon as you hear assassins, you can just, start whipping around and scanning your surroundings.
Oh, right, yeah, of course, yeah.
So they can't backstab you nearly as easily, probably.
Yeah, that must be quite much more difficult.
Same problem you have in TF, where if anyone at any point just suspects a spy, they just start turning around randomly, and you're like, well, I'm fucked now.
Yeah. Yeah, I wonder what playing spy is like on the 360 version. The unpatched.
It's probably quite easy.
That must be quite fun.
Well,
of course, you don't get any of the equipment. You have to use the old invisibility watch and stuff.
And you wouldn't have the somewhat slightly improved backstabbing, but also, where they got rid of the weird things that you could do, like the
weird backstab delay, and
But now you don't get the speed backstab. Not that it's actually faster; it's just an animation thing, and you don't get the slightly changed hit zones or whatever. You probably get more face stabs.
Yeah.
Because the number of times they tried to fix that,
and they still haven't.
Well, you can't permanently fix that because it's to do with the lag compensation, isn't it? Part of it. Sometimes you're always going to think, like that happened to me the other day, didn't it? You saw me turn round when you said there was a spy behind me, and I spun round and he face stabbed me. I mean,
to me, it looked like you'd turned round.
Yeah.
On a different connection somewhere. It looked like you'd turned round and then just taken a knife to the nose.
Yeah. Anyway, it's just sort of
that one time in
well.
overtime where the whole team was spectating and was like, "Oh, that was such face stab," but I didn't see him. It was like, oh, that must have been my problem then.
Yeah.
Going off on a slight tangent, because this leads on, and I brought this up with Zach last night. The issue of connection problems and stuff. Did you hear on the news that actually I say the news, it was Radio 1's news. I'm not entirely sure how serious you can take that, yeah. But they had a thing that the number of complaints about Call of Duty Black Ops'
lagginess,
connection and lagginess or something is actually starting to reach fairly ridiculous levels that that the news is aware of it and paying attention. They didn't say what their source was, whether it was coming from a consumer watchdog or something, or whether people had just been writing into Radio Gun going, "My game don't work," but it was
could be.
But even so, the fact that it made there at all is interesting, and I say interesting because I agree with it. I think it's an awful game in terms of getting it to work.
Well, is that because the peer-to-peer system than the way it changes hosts?
Well, I don't know. There's all kinds of issues. Generally, whenever I've been playing Call of Duty, and I've done it twice in the last couple of weeks, I've had a couple of sessions with my brother trying to play the game. Both times, I had to go through a hell of an effort just to get it to work properly and join games. The first time we joined a party, and apparently Rick couldn't hear me over the Xbox chat. It was cutting out funny. And then when we joined games, I got kicked out immediately. Things like that. So we looked it up, and the game was reporting I had a strict NAT, which it hadn't been before because I'd set my router up to do it. So I then turned my router on and off, and everything was happy. Got into a few games. And I literally mean a few games, as in one or two, before Call of Duty decided Xbox Live didn't exist. And
no.
and I couldn't join any more games until I reset the console.
Is that an actual bug?
I think it's a combination of bugs and the game doesn't handle lag very well. Actually, in the game, it's
the lag compensation isn't very good.
Yeah. It attempts to do
really hard
host
thing to
migration
get
as it attempts to do host migration as well, which never works.
No, that's really that never works, does it? I mean,
no, Halo does it okay, but Call of Duty whenever it attempts, it always goes, no, that didn't work, and bombs you back to the main menu.
I see.
The worst case is, you're right,
to a new host, or it tries to choose a new host out of the people playing when the host quits.
Then fails.
And then it fails. All right. Well, there's no point even trying, is there then? Yeah.
The worst bit is, as you say, the lag compensation is just weird. I mean, the number of times, and I think that's why the game is as frustrating as it is because it feels like in a lot of fights you're the one that was shooting right at the target, but it didn't register hits. I've been noticing it more and more that it's just not registering a perfectly aimed hit. There was one scenario which was completely obvious where some guy was just charging towards me, so doing the run animation, and if you're doing a run, it takes a little bit of time to get your gun out and fire it out. So I just start shooting at him or something, straight at him because he's running right at me. There's no possible way my aim could have been off, and none of the hits registered because you get that nice little tick tick noise and the extra crosshair, and none of them hit, and he had time to whip out his gun and then body shot me several times, and it's like, what? How did that work? And it's
lag compensation is so. I mean, FaceTime shows that even Valve, have struggled with lag compensation. But the thing is, like, with that situation, I mean, I'm not saying the one that you just described necessarily, but usually it's like you have missed, but you don't think you've missed because what you see on your screen shows that you've hit. You know what I mean? But because of the server, in the server, you've missed. But then lag compensation modifies the truth. It says, well, if you think that you've hit and it appears so on your client, then we'll modify the truth of what's happened on the server so you don't feel cheated. But it's degrees of that because then the other guy might feel cheated, because...
The guy who dies often gets the worst side of that because you don't feel
it's so hard to get
the
right.
TF shot round the corner effect.
Exactly. And it's literally these days with connections so good compared to when we were playing, Quake on dial-up and stuff. Do you remember low ping bastards? Everyone's a low ping bastard now, which is great, relatively, because they used to get all the kills because the lag compensation wasn't there at the time, wasn't it?
No, they didn't have that idea.
Yeah, but now everyone's got good. It's just the slightest millisecond differences, isn't it, between the client and the server and the other client of the other player.
Call of Duty is a bad example because you can the number of times you can see it is quite ridiculous. You know how the game has that fantastic, which is a fantastic idea, the sort of last kill replay.
Yeah.
At the end of a match. Often,
that's way cool.
At least 50% of the time, though, they look rubbish because it's like, oh, that guy has died and that guy wasn't shooting anywhere near him, or that knife strike connected after the guy had walked past. And I don't know, that's probably what it looked like to my client, as opposed to the actual replay coming off the server, coming back off the server. But it just highlights just how bad it looks and how frustrating it is. But it's I find it irritating because I know the design of Call of Duty is brilliant. Like, if the game was to run lag free, it would be amazing. It's just the fact that it doesn't. If you
had like a LAN party or something.
Yeah, you occasionally you get the very rare game where everything seems to be hanging together, and whether you suck or not, you don't feel cheated. You don't feel like anything has gone wrong. You don't feel like your headshots have missed. You don't feel like someone unfairly knifed you in a mysteriously close quarters fight. It's you don't care if you lose, basically, because you've had a good time and everything's hung together. But it's so rare.
So, because Activision want to make even more money. I mean, their dream, I think, Activision, is to have a subscription-based Call of Duty multiplayer. But I think, if they started offering dedicated servers for a subscription fee, some people would pay for that,
Definitely.
And I wonder why they don't bother, because they go to great lengths to not allow dedicated servers on the PC version of Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And then people try and hack into it and,
create their own sort of network.
And they're only doing it because they want the game to work better, I get why they want to do the peer-to-peer system and stuff, but because dedicated servers is a big mess if you're the average A lot of the people playing Call of Duty,
the average Joe user doesn't, because we've got used to peer-to-peer gaming now. There's like the whole idea of a server list is kind of frightening.
Yeah, just server lists on consoles in general is just a terrible idea. I mean, really,
it doesn't work quite so well, does it? I've never really seen much of a decent example. There's the odd occasion where it would be nice to search for a game that's appropriate.
Yeah.
On the odd game, sometimes you end up getting quick matched into the same damn room, and it's like, I don't want to play in this room. I want to play in a different one because everyone in here is an asshole.
Yeah.
The quick match system quite often will just keep putting you in the same place, and you need the server browser there as an option.
Yeah, because it's matching you the same way.
Same way, yeah.
But I mean, even on the PC, server browsers have never been very good. I mean, the one for TF2 and all the Valve stuff. Counter-Strike and stuff, that's all the same server browser, and that's fine, but I mean...
It's alright, but it still feels a bit...
It's still a bit...
clunky and a bit
It's still clunky, but that's like it's clunky, and that is like the peak of evolution of server browsers. I mean, the one in Battlefield 2 is awful.
Yeah, that's probably bad.
And then if you keep going back, they get worse and worse. They've never got... I swear you could get them... You could make a better server browser, I think. For anyway, but that's like a UI issue, I suppose. But I just remembering from Battlefield 2. I'm remembering unloading. Do you remember unloading?
Oh yeah.
Like loading game, cancel.
If you got stuck into a load pause and then you tried to break out of it, the unloading step would probably take longer than it actually took to just load the level. God, the loading times in that game were fucking awful anyway.
Was a brilliant game, but I literally spent more time trying to get into a game than I spent playing it. I swear, it was awful.
Yeah,
that server browser was
terrible
shit.
Connection problems thing where you could connect half the time and then it would kick you out instantly and weird stuff.
Yeah, I know. It was a nightmare. Oh, I don't know. That's. I mean, if that's the only thing they improve in Battlefield 3, if Battlefield 3 is literally Battlefield 2 but with an amazing server browser, I'd be pretty happy because I could actually play it.
It was the one thing that I already sort of annoys me about Monday Night Combat is like their server browser is fine, I guess, apart from you can't see the names of the people who are in the server. I mean, that's not really that important to me because it's like I don't know very many people playing it, or I don't really care if I'm in the same server as those people at the moment. It's just like, why can I not just see the names and the ranks of the people on the server so I can see if it's horribly unbalanced or whatever?
Does it tap into Steamworks or use the friend system in Steam so you can see where you at least join other people's game or see where your mates are playing?
I don't know. One of the people on my friends list joined the game I was in. That may have been coincidence, but he was trying to find me, so it does something.
But it does have dedicated servers, obviously.
Yeah.
Combat. Okay. Are they going to release that on the console?
It is released on the console beforehand.
It started on the Xbox first. Yeah,
right.
Like in September last year or something.
So, presumably that's peer-to-peer on the console then.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I wasn't impressed on console, but I'm willing to give it another look at on PC.
Oh, and the other thing I probably should mention is the hilarity of Fruit Fucker.
Is he in the game?
When is that never funny? That's so...
Well, it's like they had the PC launch video thing, which was meant to show that it had the TF2 items or whatever. TF2 items in Monday Night Combat and Monday Night Combat the items in TF2 as they do. But it's like, for some reason, Fruit Fucker, and I'm like, what? Why? It has nothing to do with TF2 or Monday Night Combat. It's just like, what? But then it's like, I don't know when it was put into Monday Night Combat. I think it was probably before the TF2 stuff, maybe even on the console version, one of the patches there. But it's just a random thing that they put in because I know they like Play Arcade, except obviously in the game they can't call it Fruit Fucker, so it's just called G-Spot.
Oh yeah. G-Spot.
And I think it is a PC exclusive, Zach, as well. I think it was, and I think it dropped at the same time as the TF2 stuff. I think it was all
weird,
simultaneous.
But yeah,
from what I heard
it's
in
like,
the news.
In the middle of the rounds of Monday Night Combat, just randomly, the mascot will spawn, and normally it's their normal mascot, Bullseye, just a like guy in a green jumpsuit with a giant head or whatever. And then you just shoot him for cash. It's like that's the only purpose of the mascot. He just runs around and everybody wails on him for money. But then JuiceBot is like, he drops more juice than cash, obviously, because he's the JuiceBot.
Oh, I see. Cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool, actually. I can see why they did it now.
Actually fits with the game, sort of.
The game, yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. It's kind of hilarious random.
Need more fruit.
Didn't make any sense in that video. Where it's just like, they're all like, what the fuck? And then JuiceBot comes along and it's like, they're all looking at him like, what the hell? And then he just walks up to a Namco TF2 crate and opens it and all the TF2 stuff comes out. It's like, okay, the TF2 stuff makes sense, but where the fuck did this JuiceBot come from?
They haven't got any Penny Arcade items in TF2 yet, have they? Have they?
No.
Because you think.
Well, they do, because
Pokemon...
Tycho's watch from Pokemon.
Oh, Tycho's watch.
Oh,
now
yeah.
that sucks. What's that got to do with Penny Arcade, really? What's it look
Well,
like?
it's from a strip, isn't it? Although it's not it's like in the comic strip that I guess it's based off. It's like Tycho gets a Pac-Man watch, and then like Gabe is like, "Oh, you bastard! I'm the Pac-Man guy," and then he, you know, that's Penny Arcade in a nutshell. But yeah, so it's that is a pretty like deep reference though.
Yeah,
it's
very
like
deep.
it's not a very famous strip out of Penny Arcade or anything.
It's not like Danger-esque.
No.
Not that's a reasonably deep reference to Homestar Runner, just in general, because you'd have to have watched those specific.
But I guess
it's not as famous as like Trogdor
boxing gloves because he already has them.
But what would be like blue hair or something, or just
I don't know. That's
Trogdor.
probably a deeper reference.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, maybe a Trogdor flamethrower. That would have been pretty cool.
That would be amazing.
You just hold him by the tail and he's
The Burninator.
Yeah. Just hold a dragon.
Trogdor!
Oh, that would be amazing. Yeah. So
I don't know what else could you have had from Penny Arcade? I mean, the obvious choice would have been the cardboard tube samurai.
Oh yeah,
like a scout bat.
Yeah.
yeah, the tube for a scout bat would make sense.
Or maybe
But
a
then that's not
demo
much of
sword replacement.
Oh yeah, actually that would probably work better with the decapitations and everything.
That'd be way cool. I know.
Although the hit noise
Well,
for like the scout bat, the hit noise of the cardboard tube would be pretty cool. Boom,
boom, boom. Oh, I love that sound. I have to admit, Monday Night Combat sounds fun from what you described.
It is pretty fun. Although I find that like £10, I think.
Okay.
Bargain.
But I think I find like compared to T-Fortress is compared to Monday Night Combat. T-Fortress is kind of relaxing to play. It's like when I've been playing Monday Night Combat, I'm like super tense. I'm not sure why. I think it's just because I play it with a lot higher sensitivity, so I can like constantly whip round and look for assassins. I don't know what it is about third person compared to first person that makes me want to actually play with high sensitivity. Because normally I play with such low sensitivity in first person.
Yeah, I don't understand how you do so well with such low sensitivity. I understand that you're good at aiming, but how do you... I mean, you have to lift up your mouse about 3 times in order to turn round. I mean, how do you cope with spies and stuff? I don't understand that. Anyway.
Because I'm constantly turning around.
Yeah.
I rotate crazy.
Because you don't even move the mouse
such
very...
an arm workout.
Do you? You don't really move the mouse very far. It's like a little stroke, isn't it? It's like rowing or something when you turn around with your mouse, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't even move it across the desk.
Replays, which is
because you could see your little vision jerking each time you pick up your mouse and move it across. It's really weird. Yeah, but it obviously works for you.
Accuracy, I guess.
I guess so.
It's like within the same screen, within a screen's width. It's like I can aim shots better probably.
Yeah,
for the bow and the force of nature and stuff. Lol.
Yeah, pretty good with the force of nature and all that. Yeah, so I think we better move on, shouldn't we? Have you been playing anything else this week, Zach, or is that your?
Yes, I've been playing a lot of bloody WURM Online.
The hell's that?
Oh god.
Well, basically, a long time ago, like I don't know, several years. Several years ago,
I was thinking of the start of American Pie. How does that start? Long time ago. Anyway, carry on.
Something.
Like several years ago, I think it was probably a rock paper shotgun post was where this came up originally, and then came through IRC or whatever.
Oh man, their podcast is getting even worse. By the way, this is the last one. It had barely any reference to computer games. It was mostly about like they talked about that Channel 4 program Misfits for like half an hour or something. It's really funny. And then they took the piss out of like the IGN podcast at the end. It's like, so at least they talk about computer games. Anyway,
there's probably this post on RPS, probably, and then it came through RC, and everyone was talking about it as so many things get to me. But it was a post about like this game called Worm, and it's basically like sort of frontier survival. It's like you go and chop down trees and then build a house and like farm things, and I don't know. It's that. There's no really real way of describing it. It's just like, you know, you're Ray Mears, except you can build a house as well.
Okay.
So and then the RPS post was like they were talking about forming a settlement and like we're all going to work together and
find it's
an
multiplayer.
Awesome place. Yeah, it's an MMO basically. Essentially. Okay. Although it's not really massive currently anyway.
Is it like Minecraft with lots of people in the same server?
Well, that's the thing. Apparently, maybe I'm not entirely certain of this, but I think the guy who makes Minecraft, Notch, I think he originally made this as part of a larger team. Of like a few people rather than solo. So I think he like left this and then made Minecraft, which is why it sort of seems similar. Except this is goes more realistic graphics instead of giant cubes.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yeah, so it's just like this weird survival game. And so years ago, I'd heard about it, and I was like, maybe I should try that just for a laugh. Because people in IRC were doing it. It's like, yeah, I can totally go in and help them. And then I never did. And then something recently caused me to remember it, and I was like, oh yeah. Several years later, maybe I'll try it. And then I did.
So is there anyone playing it now?
Yeah, there's like, no, it's not massively massive, but there's like 500 odd people, and you see people around a lot, you know. It's not deserted.
Yeah.
At least in the sort of busier areas.
Oh,
it's like
I went out screenshots of it. Man, it's an ugly game.
It runs in like Java, which is why it doesn't look great. Also, terrible animations. I don't think they've updated that since when I heard about it originally. It's like literally when you're riding a horse, you don't ride it, you just sort of stand on top of it.
Oh, awesome.
Which is just really bad and kind of hilarious at the same time.
Hey, they should put horses into Minecraft that you can ride.
Well, you can already ride pigs if you find a saddle, but you can't control them, so they just kind of jump around.
They just go anywhere. Okay.
Not quite the same thing, really, is it?
No.
It's like, I could have an epic mount, and we could have a pig that you can't control.
But so I played a lot of
Worm Online.
I have no idea. It's probably some reference to like dragons.
It's Worm with a U.
I see.
O.
Yeah. Because worm with a U is like a dragon without wings, I think, but it can still fly.
There are some dragons involved.
Like there are worms with a U in Lord of the Rings, aren't they? Although you never meet one unless small, because it counts as a worm. Well, you might do. Anyway.
But yeah, so I played this probably way too much. I think it falls into the same category as Eve as being something that I like for no apparent reason and no one else likes.
Most people like Eve, though. I mean,
yeah,
not anyone we know, but
yeah, no one that I know or anything. And it falls into that same category of like you don't really do very much. It's a bit of a semi-AFK game or whatever. Because it's like, say I'm like, I don't know, crafting something or like chopping up a tree or something. It's like, select your axe, right click on the tree, wait for the bar to go up, and then you chop down the tree. It's just like, wait 30 seconds for this action to complete. No animations or anything, just a sound effect.
So you're playing a game while surfing the internet, basically.
Yeah, it's finally a game I can play while listening to podcasts.
Because that'd be because that would be so boring if that was all you were doing, because you'd be waiting around. I find that really annoying.
I mean, I have been doing it solo by itself quite a bit as well. But then that's just me. It's like same thing for Eve, where it's like no one understands why I like just doing that, like mining in Eve or whatever.
Man, I love playing console games at my desk with a second screen, because whenever there's a loading pause of any length, I just like check my email. It's like, yep, it's so good. That kind of stuff. is awesome.
Yeah, so Worm is like a non-game as far as game mechanics go. It's just like right-click, do things, wait for bars to go up, and raise your skills.
Yeah, that sounds like something that I can't be asked to even look up.
Yeah, it's a lot like Eve. But it's just like, so I built a house and like farming and making pots.
What farming? What, like Harvest Moon or something?
Well, apart from incredibly simplified, it's like right-click ground with seeds in your hand, plant them, wait several days. Oh look, they've turned into a crop. Woo!
Right-click to eat.
Yep, right-click to eat.
Oh, and you have to survive. So you have to eat.
Yeah, you actually
You are
the
Ray
food
Mills,
is like
literally.
a critical part of it, where it's like you don't die if you starve. You just can't really do anything that requires, you can't do any physical labor if you haven't got any food.
Oh, I see. It's like an exchange.
Whatever.
I need energy to do this, therefore.
And your stamina bar fills up really slowly, obviously, and your stamina
Does
bar
that mean
is
you
like
could
what
become
use to do
absolutely? Does that mean you could become useless in the world and need someone to feed you?
Well, you can forage. Foraging doesn't take up any energy, so you can find berries and shit and then eat those.
Because I thought that'd be a really funny state to be in, where you're just lying there going, someone has to come and feed you.
And you could
move
grief
really
people.
slowly if your stamina is totally out. So that probably is equivalent to that. You're like, must crawl to a bit of grass and forage for some berries.
Just eat the grass.
But yeah, you have to like learn to cook better items so you can fill up your food bar better, and fishing and farming and that kind of stuff. It's a weird skanky game. And as I was describing to Rob, it has the most annoying. It's like everything you do with like the right-click actions or whatever for like making anything basically has a percentage chance of success. So you can cock it up and like do it again, and just repeat over and over.
Some of this is retarded though, isn't it? Making flour.
Yeah, it's like some actions, like if you fail, it just damages the thing you were trying to use to do it. So it's like if I try to attach this plank to the wall of my house and I fail, it just damages the plank a bit.
We should damage your thumb, really, shouldn't it?
Yeah. Damage yourself. But yeah, like flour is the worst example, where you get a grindstone and you get like a grain, and you're like, I'm gonna make flour. So you click on the grindstone and you go make flour, and it's like 40% chance of success. And if you fail, the grain just gets destroyed. It's like, wait, wasn't that the whole idea?
Yeah, destroy the grain. Yeah,
it's like just imagining the little grain sat on your grindstone just suddenly bursting into fire and disappearing. Woof!
That's the end of that grain. No flour, only soot.
That really sucks. I don't understand why. It's like that's one of the very few cases where what you're using gets totally outright destroyed, and it's the one where it doesn't make any fucking sense.
Oh dear.
And then it's even worse that, like, if you succeed the 50% chance of making flour, turning it into dough so you can actually turn it into bread and eat it, or just use dough in a meal because you can use it directly. Turning flour into dough is another 50% chance. So you're still likely to fail that as well, and that destroys the flour. It's like, fuck. Am I ever going to make any bread?
Am I ever going to make any bread in Worm Online? Oh no. Oh god. Right, I'm moving on because it's been like an hour of that.
This sounds fucking awful.
Let's talk about games that we might want to play. Robert Kemp.
Oh, that's me.
Yeah, what you been playing, man? I just went on to try the Bulletstorm demo. I saw you have a score on that. So.
I have played the Bulletstorm demo, yes. It's freaking nuts.
That game just looks, I mean, the tone of it just looks retarded, and I
yes,
can't
you're
be bothered with that.
absolutely right, dick tits.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to buy a game that literally calls me dick tits at the end. Now, dick tits, that's not actually an original thing. Because what is the horrible thing? It's shitting dick tits, isn't it, or something?
No, dick nipples.
Dick nipples. Shitting dick nipples, that's the one, yeah. Anyway. Don't look that up.
Where's that from?
Don't look that up. It's from 4chan, I presume, isn't it?
As always.
Yeah, don't look that up. But anyway, Dick Tits. I don't want to necessarily buy a game that literally calls me Dick Tits at the end of the
It's not this.
Pre-order it now, Dick Tits.
Yeah.
Anyway, but the game, I don't know, because I was kind of excited by the video saying, hey, look, you can kill with skill and stuff, and check it out and stuff, and then I'm not.
I did just look it up. Oh my fucking god!
Don't look at that, Rob. Concentrate. Tell us what you think about Bulletstorm.
It's quite hilarious.
I said don't. Listen to me, people.
Yeah. I can back him up on that one now. Don't ever look that up.
Don't look at that.
It's quite cool. I mean, I like the way the demo introduced itself, and that it's like, oh, have a go at doing this. Try and be clever in the way that you're killing them. And then the demo, the tutorial video itself, and it says, that was shit. Now do it again. it's like then it shows you more inventive ways of doing it, and you do that does actually happen as you play it. You try more inventive things as you go through. It doesn't always work. Some of the things I tried to do with the sort of flail gun, exploding mine launcher, grenade on chain weapon.
Yeah,
it's the only way I can think to describe it.
The file thing. Yeah.
Sort of, I tried experimenting with that, and I didn't have much success with it, so that was a bit of a fail. But it seems to be the only doing. The only problem I had with doing some of the more interesting things, like pulling them in with your thingy, and then with your lance, your electro lance, so they pull towards, and then kicking them away, and then shooting them with a flare gun up their arse, so they fly into the sky and explode.
Yeah. If
you want to actually do all of that, you have to actually be quite mindful and prepare in advance. You've got to charge your gun up before you get into the conflict. Yeah. You've then got to do it. You've then got to be patient during the slowdown time to shoot him in the right spot. And it's almost too much effort for something that's supposed to be mental.
Yeah, it's like you have to be very methodical about your chaos that you're creating.
Yeah,
don't you? That's the thing. I mean,
the point scheme seems a bit imbalanced as well. Like getting chain reaction bonuses gives you tons of points.
Yeah, just killing loads of people very quickly gives you more points than trying to do something cool.
With a single gun, with a single shot, basically, is how you get the chain reactions. It's like
if
you charge up the flail gun and hit them all with a single
right,
because it just cuts them in half if you charge it up. You get chain reaction things, and then they
explode.
You
get a multiplier,
and then people outside. Yeah, there's like a multiplier. I don't quite know what the rules are for it, but you just get loads of points for it. Whereas doing something genuinely awesome, like attaching a mine to someone so they're struggling, and then waiting for their mates to come and try and help them, and then blowing them up, it gets you virtually nothing.
Yeah, I've done something that I thought looked really cool, and then it hasn't given me anything special. I don't know what it was, like pinning someone to a wall after kicking them, and then I don't know what it was, but it looked well cool, and then I got 10 points. I was like, what? Surely that should have a special. I don't know. But
it's just killing them normally gets you no points, doesn't it? It's like there you go, you got 10 points. And it's like as long as you kick them in the face once, it's like, oh, there you go, have 100 points.
Yeah, it's weird. I was just thinking just now that it reminds me it'd be good if you could quick save and then go back and try that little room again if you buggered it up or whatever and you want to do that. And that reminds me of Max Payne. Do you remember, not that you get any points in Max Payne, but sometimes you would reload just because you want to do that room cooler. Yeah. You killed everyone, but you want to do it all in crazy slow-mo, and you want to kill them all in a single dive or something. And that was cool. And whereas, because
it wouldn't work so much in terms of because I think the main game will be split out into these little sort of runs.
Okay.
So you do a run and then.
Well, that was called an echo. So that's different from the main game, isn't it?
Yeah, the echoes are. I think the echoes are small runs. Part that are from the main game or something like that. They haven't quite. I haven't been able to figure out how this is going to work. Whether because it has a campaign mode and a story and everything, but I'm not sure if the story is. I'm not sure. Well, yeah, it would be. It's an epic story, isn't it? By Epic Games, they're always bad. But
epic, stupid. Yeah.
with the sort of exception of Gears of War.
It's okay in places. Yeah. It's got a good atmosphere, like the lambent stuff and all that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. But I'm not entirely sure if the campaign is just going to play out like a shooter, and then you go back and do the echoes for mentality, and then the point runs, or if the whole campaign will just be a series of loosely strung together echo stages that you can then play later. I'm not sure. I haven't found any info on that, or I haven't read any info on it anyway, and it's But yeah, it's got my intrigue, but I'm not convinced it's going to change the world. What I do like though is their attitude to it all. It's nice to see something not taking itself too seriously and being completely mental. And its ad campaign is awesome,
true.
and it's the effort they put into just making the demo cool. By making the voiceover and the videos specific to the demo is really nice. I'd like to see that more often. And it's slick. And have you seen some of their spoofs they've done? There's a whole game that you can download.
Oh,
which is a spoof of Call of Duty.
Duty Calls. Yeah, check this out. It's freaking amazing. Was it super amazing? But the thing is that like you have ranked up thing, they're going to do that anyway. So why are they spoofing?
Yeah,
I mean, it's good. You are amazing is what the game tells you when you've killed one person. I suppose they're saying in Bulletstorm you have to do something really amazing before it'll tell you you're amazing.
Yeah,
I suppose.
Exactly. You actually have to do crazy shit in order. Otherwise, it just goes and.
But I don't know, because it takes, to be honest, it probably takes more skill to get some of those, rank ups in Call of Duty Black Ops multiplayer than it would in.
It probably takes more time.
Yeah, exactly.
Some of the challenges are rock solid, and some of the contracts in Call of Duty are pretty hard. But
yeah, I think some of the satire of like the story and stuff in that Duty Calls thing hits harder than their sort of satire of the gameplay elements. Do you see what I mean? Because I think that some of those design elements of Call of Duty are really good, and then they can't really take the piss that badly because they're probably going to be copying them in Bulletstorm, let alone Gears 3.
Well, in a way they sort of can because they've been around for quite a while now, haven't they?
That's true.
Sort of Modern Warfare mechanics, and everyone tries to copy it, so it's just like it's a meme unto it. It's like we were talking about earlier. It's not just the box art people are trying to copy; it's all the gameplay
all
mechanics
the perks and everything.
and spread amongst, and sometimes that works, but it's almost derogatory now in that it works in some forms, but there's if they carry on to keep doing this over and over again, where's the originality? Where's the new hook?
Like I just walked into Callum's room and he was playing Killzone 3 multiplayer beta, and it took me 10 seconds before I realised it wasn't Call of Duty he was playing. I mean, it looks a lot prettier. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, did they upgrade the graphics in Call of Duty? Oh no, wait, this is Killzone.
They're trying something a little bit interesting in Killzone, that it's sort of class based, but sort of not, and sort of with perks. Unlike in Call of Duty, where it's not. You don't make a class. You have some starting points.
You make a loadout, don't you?
You basically make a loadout of anything you want. Killzone is going down you sort of pick a class and then you can customize that class, kind of like the TF route.
Sort of, yeah.
Kinda, yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how. I always liked the idea more than the actual gameplay of Killzone. I still think their concept in Killzone 2 for the multiplayer, where the game rules change throughout the match, I think that's brilliant. You just go through, it suddenly goes, I hope so. I don't know, but I didn't see anything obvious about it. But I thought that was fantastic. How you could go from a capture the flag style mission 1 second to straight team deathmatch after that's finished, to like a capture point style game, all within one match and all seamless. It's great.
Yeah, that's cool.
It's a shame that the controls and the network performance weren't that hot.
Well, they might have tightened up the controls. We'll have to see.
Apparently they have. Apparently it's a bit more responsive, but still has a weighty feel. So hopefully that's the best of both worlds. That they've kept hopefully they've kept what Guerrilla wanted out of the control scheme without it actually limiting you.
Because it was too weighty. I mean, I get what they were going
for.
No,
it was control delay. It was movement lag more than actual weight.
Yeah, it's no good.
Which was rubbish. Yeah, true idea.
So yeah, Bulletstorm.
But yeah, Bulletstorm could be interesting, but I'm not entirely sure where it sits with me.
No, me either. But we'll see. What else have you been playing? I actually saw on live you were playing Vanquish.
Quite a lot, yeah. I've finished Vanquish now.
Sweet. So now your review of Vanquish, if you please,
is pretty solid. Yeah, It does deserve a lot of the attention it got. It is pretty damn sweet. There's something totally awesome about getting into cover Gears of War style, and then jumping over the cover like a crazy acrobatic mofo, slowing down time as you do, killing 3 robots with headshots on the way. It's just fucking awesome.
That sounds amazing.
It's like just moving about the world looks ridiculous. It's because it's got the Bayonetta style animation sort of craziness to it. So when you go into the rocket boost that we talked about before, you slide around on your ass basically around the level. When you come out of that, you do a crazy acrobatic flip to get from lying on to your ass to the thingy. So just moving about in the game looks amazing.
Well, you don't just sit up. You sort of
no, you don't just get up. No, you do a crazy ass like swing your legs round and windmill kick yourself into a standing position.
Awesome.
It's bloody mental. But that's not to say I don't have criticisms. This is me. We're saying I always have a criticism about this. I mean, I'll concentrate on the good bit. It is mental. It is quite original in terms of how the gameplay pans out. The fights against most. There's not really a boring moment in the game. It starts off deep end and stays deep end throughout the entire game. Occasionally ramping. It doesn't ramp up in terms of mentality. It's almost numbers more than anything in places. Like you're constantly discovering new enemies, and you're constantly discovering, oh wait, now there's 2 of that type. Oh wait, now there's 3 of that type. Oh, now there's a combination of types, which is really awkward to deal with. Okay. It kind of just sort of everything ramps up consistently. It's quite nicely paced. And there's just nothing else like it. It's crazy. It's the only way to describe it. It is crazy. The way you defeat enemies is more about mobility than straight shooting in places. So in order to kill a certain enemy, you'll have to get behind it, and then using the boost jump, and then as you're boosting, or very quickly as you come out, slow down time, so you have enough time to shoot it in the back before it turns round. Because the enemies move really fucking fast as well.
Oh, okay.
So you have to use your mobility. You have to be amazingly quick reflexed. In order to do
you have a bullet
things.
time button then?
Kinda, but you can't activate it totally at will. You can only do it after certain actions. So you can't get in cover and then slow down time as you pop your head up while aiming, for instance. You can do it after a dive. So when you do a dodge, if you pull the AR button, I think it's called, or R's or something like that. You instead of just standing up at the end of your flip, you go into a pose and time slows down as you do it.
Okay.
And you can slow down time while boosting around, and you can slow down time while jumping over walls. The game also will slow down time for you when you are about to die.
Oh, okay.
So if you have any energy left in your suit and you're low on health, the suit will turn on slow motion mode, and you can do what you want until it runs out. The annoying thing about that is sometimes you actually don't want to stay in slow down mode. You want to just come out of it, and you can't because the suit has taken over.
It's doing it automatically.
Okay. Yeah. Which leads me into some of the initial problems. And I sort of touched on one a little bit there, in that overheating your suit is a really, really bad situation to be in most cases. And it happens quite a lot because you can do it quite accidentally. It's quite easy to overheat your suit, but when it overheats, it takes longer to recharge, and you can't use any of your powers while it's doing that.
Is that mucking up the reload on?
Yeah, kind of.
Or something.
It puts you in some serious shit because some enemies are so fast that you need the slowdown to judge your timing.
Right. Yeah.
With any kind of accuracy. There's one boss in particular towards the end of the game that has the ability to cloak, and when it uncloaks, which could be anywhere around you, there's no real indication, it just suddenly happens, and then does an immediate lunge with its sword, and that could happen at you from any angle or whatever, so you pretty much have to spend most of that fight slowing down time as much as possible, so when it uncloaks, you can counter it because you get a quick time event that happens if you're standing in the right place. Or you push a button at the right time, and it's like you've got to try and... You have to slow down time, otherwise hitting that is virtually impossible. So overheating in that fight is pretty much, there's quite a high likelihood that I'm going to miss it or not dodge at the right time and get insta-killed.
Mm.
Which leads me to the second problem. There are insta-kills.
What insta-kills of you?
There are certain things that will kill you in a single shot. and certain and that can be quite irritating in places. Some of the enemies have a giant charge-up laser, which makes a ridiculous noise, but it will go through cover. So the only way you can get out of the way is by boosting out of its path and stuff, or doing a dodge at the right moment as it fires. And it's if you don't see it coming and it just kills you, just like, oh crap.
Yeah, because you couldn't see them because they were behind cover, but it shot straight through the cover
and you're moving so fast and stuff like that, and the game is, there's so much going on. Sometimes you just cannot see what's coming, and some things will just murder you instantly, which is and it's not only the one-shotters that can do that. It's hard to tell how much health you have, because there's no indicator on screen of your current shield. It has recharging health like a Halo or Call of Duty, but it only sort of warns you about it when you're really close to dying.
Okay, so it doesn't go beep, beep, or...
No, the screen starts flashing red and starts pulsing like a heartbeat, kind of like the Call of Duty style, but it only does... But there's no sort of interim. If you're getting hit a little bit, there's no indication that you're not at full strength. You've just been hurt a touch. Okay. So it's kind of difficult to gauge how strong you are sometimes when you're in the middle of a fight. You've been hit a little bit and you wonder whether or not you can charge in at a time, because sometimes if you time it just wrong, there'll be a swarm of missiles come your way and the splash might be enough to take you out. And it's so it's hard to judge whether or not you're healthy enough to do certain maneuvers at certain times. Just a little indicator on screen given your current strength would have been great. That would have solved that problem.
Right, okay. So it's just a little design issue there.
It can lead to frustrating deaths. And stuff you don't have control over. I mean, the game is so amazingly fast that telling what's going on can be a bit of a problem. And
I mean, shooters used to be a lot faster. Does it remind you of 90s? Cause,
no, it's faster than that. It's lightning. Seriously, it's so much going on, and everything
stuff like
moves.
Gears of War is so slow movement-wise. Even Halo, slow.
I mean, Zach's seen a bit of it when he came over last, and it was admittedly that section I was playing isn't representative of the whole thing, because it was basically a corridor shooter and some of the things, and I could hide in cover quite a lot at that stage and not feel too threatened. But when you're sliding around on ass, it doesn't half move fast.
Awesome.
And it's just hilarious that when you're just walking around, even when there's no combat going on, it's just your normal walking is quite slow, and you're just I just want to boost, even though there's no reason to do it. You're just sliding around on your ass everywhere because it's faster. Even if you're just walking across a room after you've killed something to open a crate, it's 10 feet, fuck that.
And it sort of encourages you to do so because sorry, my bad.
It's okay.
Mobile,
your
blah.
phone.
Yeah, I know. That's not very professional. When you're what was I saying? Words. Oh yeah, I mean, when you're moving about, the game sort of encourages you to do so, because at the end of each mission you get a Japanese style stat breakdown.
Oh, cool.
Of you spent this much time in cover and you killed this many enemies, and this meant this number of friendlies died, and you found this number of secrets and stuff like that. So it breaks it all down, and it kind of encourages you with a time bonus, which I've never managed to get on any of the levels that I played through, of just doing it quickly. And there's a score and stuff like that. Not that I'm sure that the score is ever really mentioned, but there's no point in the score. It's just something you can gun for if you want to. Yeah, cool. So it encourages you to be mental if you want to.
There's no point, but there is points.
Yeah, there's points which mean nothing.
So
what do points mean? Fuck all. That kind of thing.
So what's the premise of Vanquish? Is it got some retarded story?
Well, they actually...
Is that right?
The story starts pretty good.
Okay.
I won't spoil unless you want me to spoil the ending. I'm not going to do so.
No, don't bother.
But it's very Japanese. It's
is it in space or what's the setup? I don't really know.
The setup is the game starts with San Francisco getting totally fucked by a giant space laser.
In the future.
It's supposed to be near future in terms of how people are living on the ground, but the technology has obviously moved a lot further. But it's right. Sort of the start of the game seems to be it's not that far ahead, and it turns out it's the Russians basically nuking San Francisco. It's
why is it always the Russians these days?
They've got some mysterious weapon of mass destruction, and it's oh no wait, actually it's not just a weapon of mass destruction, it's our weapon of mass destruction which they nicked off a space colony of ours.
Right.
So basically, the idea of the game is you have to go to this space colony in order to, in order to get control of this weapon again.
Sounds like Modern Warfare 2 in space.
Kinda. Running at the same time, the professor of DARPA who created your Professor
DARPA's
Candide.
Still running, is it?
Yeah, you play as a DARPA agent basically. It's like the professor who created your suit has been kidnapped, so you get involved almost as a rescue mission as well as a thingy. So there's like it's an excuse for you to bring your super high tech suit basically.
Cool.
Because it's brand new and you're the only one that can use it and all that stuff and blah blah blah. So there's a bit of a rescue plot going on as well. So you end up on this colony, and it really does drop you in at the deep end. The first few levels are just epic, crazy firefight with things exploding everywhere and people trying to land and failing miserably. Which the funny thing is, all of that adds to your friendlies killed count. So the longer you take in the level, the more friendlies get killed because it counts things that you have no control over and are happening just in the sky above you.
That's really funny. It's kind of like if a policeman would ran over a civilian in Grand Theft Auto 1, then you get the points for it, do you remember?
Yeah.
It's like, ding! Cheers.
Yeah, so it really drops you in the deep end, but it's quite good like that, because it's just like, holy shit. and it's like that for most of the game. And it doesn't really have quiet moments. And when they do, it's only a few footsteps away before all hell breaks loose again. And
so you're fighting humans then?
You're fighting Russian robot army they refer to as the RIs.
Awesome.
So I don't know. I think RI, whether that stands for Russian infantry or robot infantry or what, but they're and there's a lot. Of course, that means that they can have lots of giant robots that they call Romanovs.
Oh god.
And there's lots of variants of Romanovs, like ones with lots of like chain guns, or ones that like to just drill up to your face. And
has it got any of that sort of
underground?
Has it got any of that sort of COD Soviet stylings, like Red Alert 2? Like fake hammers and sickles and.
You know what? There isn't much actually, to be honest. Other than the fact that they're Russian for most of the game, it doesn't, and their names, it wouldn't have made much difference who they were.
Right.
There's a couple of links to occasionally you actually end up getting to see like Russian dudes and they talk in a Russian accent, but
right. Okay.
But other than that, it really could have been anyone. So
you recommend Vanquish then?
I do. I think it's bloody amazing. It's just it does have its flaws. It is mental, and I'm not going to say that it's not for everyone. It is reasonably frustrating. It's reasonably just crazy in terms of you can't tell what's going on half the time, and it is very much a start at the deep end game. The first few missions are about as hard as the game is throughout its entire length.
Okay.
So it's it has that sort of Lost Planet vibe to it as well in terms of the graphical feel, and which isn't bad. Don't get me wrong, Lost Planet was a nice looking game, and this is a better looking game than Lost Planet. It's just the texture detail in places is lovely, but
awesome. Seems like this.
It's just a bit retarded. The story ends up. I'm not about giving it away. It's very Japanese, but the story at the end gets completely retarded, and most of the original point is lost. Okay. But fortunately, the only two bits of important story are at the beginning and the end. Everything in the middle is just you getting somewhere.
Shoot robots,
yeah,
and
works.
Have fun, basically.
Yeah, it's quite short. Is the other thing. If you were not to die, you could get through the game. Well, my game timer was 6.5 hours, which is quite short.
Yeah, that's true. I guess it's like almost arcade style. You could just play it over again with the things.
My other sort of downside to it is, although it does have the occasional cool different level, it's not particularly varied, nor is the settings varied. Like each act seems to start in a new sort of environment, and then it quickly goes back to where you were fighting pretty much before. So the graphical look of the game is pretty much the same all the way through. It's not like the environments change much, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, that could have been cool if they'd mixed up the environments a bit with different colonies and different looks and stuff.
But it does set it up for a sequel. The story definitely doesn't finish in the first, and it's like a conclusion to the main one. But there's definitely a sequel in it, and I really hope there is because it's great.
Seems like we've been talking about games that maybe aren't the top tier games, but they're just fun, like Monday Night Combat and Vanquish and Bulletstorm.
Well, the thing is I've finished Vanquish. You know, I don't immediately go, oh, thank God that's over, which I kind of had when I finished BioShock 2.
Right,
which I've done fairly recently. I'd sort of finished that and thought, that's over. I don't really ever want to play that again. Yeah. I finished Vanquish and I'm itching to do it again.
You want to play it again?
It's just like, oh my God, I actually want to just keep playing this. This is awesome.
Cool. So, what else have you been playing? What else you got this week?
You know what? Not massively much, actually. Vanquish has taken up most of my efforts.
You haven't actually talked about finishing BioShock 2, I don't think.
Have I not?
I don't think so.
How spoilerific can we be?
No, because like half the appeal of BioShock is story, even the story. So we better not bother if
Oh, okay. I'll be blunt and quick and not give anything away, but it's not nearly as interesting as the story in the first game.
Right. Well, that's hardly surprising. Right?
There's an amazing section where you get to be a little sister for a bit. That's great, cool. But it's a very neat graphical effect and a nice. It was a good thing for them to do. It gives you a completely different perspective. You see everything from how the little sister sees it, and it's just completely different.
Cool.
And it's really well done. So that was a highlight. But generally, the story doesn't really twist. It's pretty straight-faced all the way through. It doesn't have the awesome,
famous,
the awesome famous twist from the first game. That doesn't happen. There's nothing like it. And
okay.
It's pretty much start to finish the same game, which is a bit of a shame because the actual game mechanics are better overall, but they just don't mix it up enough.
Cool. Well,
but anyway, yeah, that's all I've really got to say on that. Oh, I did have a try at the BioShock 2 multiplayer.
Oh, really? What's that like?
Laggy as hell. I couldn't get into a game where it didn't have like a ridiculous fucking lag, but it's relatively interesting. It's a bit shit compared to most things, but it's basically just straight deathmatch, but with you can use your plasmids for a bit. You don't get a lot of Eve for it. You have to find Eve about the level, but the only other place you can get Eve from are vending machines, which can be booby trapped and explode immediately and things like that. It's a bit of a mess, to be honest.
Okay.
It's intriguing for a quick few goes, but it's not something I'll go back to. I did it for a bit to get a couple of the achievements because annoyingly there's multiplayer achievements, but
I still think they should be split up.
Yeah, definitely. But don't bother about the BioShock multiplayer. It's not great.
Cool. Okay. Plenty of other good multiplayer to play anyway.
So that was alright. I've been playing Blur some more because that's also amazing.
Yeah.
It still hasn't lost its appeal. I've done a bit more online play, and it's still genius. It's just a great game.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Right.
Not much more to say. Oh, I'm still playing Racketeer as well. I failed my first loop on it, so that the final deadline for the money I was supposed to pay to the loan company came around, and I was miserably off target. So basically, the game just goes, as Zach described, it was all a dream, and you start from scratch, but with all of your items in tow and your merchant level in tow, which really helps because you can be considerably over target at the start of the game and just sort of stock up on stuff. And some of the game's more interesting mechanics start to come out at about. Yeah, I don't know. It's like if you were to just play it on loop, if you were to just complete the game on loop 1, you probably won't see half of what the game has to offer.
Yeah, I sort of agree because some of the later things you get with the merchant levels is actually kind of really useful. I mean, obviously,
there's the storage mansion and the vending machines and
and well, less so, I guess, the crafting. That depends how much you want crafting. Make more.
Well, yeah, the fusion stuff's quite difficult. I mean, in Loop 2, I've been pretty much spending as many days as possible doing the adventuring to just build up an epic pile of ingredients, and you still don't get much you can fuse with it.
Well, it's because you always get the things you don't need. And there's the other problem that a lot of the fusions require multiples of the things that the bosses drop, which just sucks. and the bosses don't always drop the things that they drop. So it's like,
no, that's quite irritating. So you've done an entire dungeon and you've just fought the boss you needed something from, and it hasn't dropped it, and you're like, what a waste of a day.
Yes, I don't know if because you can do like the last option in every dungeon is like the boss rush, but I don't think those drop.
Oh yeah.
I don't think
they drop. No,
which super sucks.
They're just like something you can do, but for no benefit. Really, is the problem. I still haven't unlocked the last dungeon. I've gone through Amber Garden.
Yeah, that took me a long time
one.
after the end of the game before that even became available. Although I did it in loop 1, so I think I was only just starting Amber Garden by the time I'd paid off the loan.
Oh, okay. Did you spend much time adventuring during it? Because during your first loop, because I didn't. The problem was that during my first loop towards the end, it was like adventuring actually became a bit of a problem because it took away too much time from selling stuff and making money. So the whole second half, I was barely adventuring. I was just spending my own time buying and selling.
Well, yeah, it was kind of started to. You had to. I don't know, it was something to do with, like, once you sort of learn more how to game the system, particularly with, like, sales and stuff, where it's like the buy low and sell high, but when they're super low and super high, you can make so much money, then it was like that was freeing up more time to do adventuring. Particularly, it's basically, the important thing is food. That's the only important. It's like every time food is cheap, buy a ton of it, and then because the event that like causes food to go to double price happens a lot more frequently than all the other ones, where it's like precious metals have increased or whatever. So food is like the one thing where you always want to have a massive extra stock, and then when it goes to the food shortage, you're just like, fuck yeah, every shelf in my shop is just full of food that you're going to pay me a ridiculous amount of cash for.
Sweet. Yeah, it's like 3,000 picks for a ham sandwich. What the fuck?
Yeah, exactly.
It's a freaking ham sandwich.
Like 10,000 quid for a melon.
That's one expensive melon.
But yeah, and then obviously as you learn the percentages, you get as much out of it as you can. 250% or more if you happen to be selling the best one is like, because I don't know why, this is a weird thing about the story, but there's that other little girl that you meet early on who's like super pissed off about your store or whatever because she's partial or some shit and she thinks you're a homo. Which is sort of true. But then that like never resolves into anything. She just like starts coming to your store and shopping. It's like, what? Wait, weren't you going to like destroy me or something?
Well, the other really irritating thing about it's just like even the game seems to want to fight against its own mechanics in places. So like when you discover, how the just combo works, and that if you like manage to sell stuff to people in the first hit, you get like an extra bit of experience, and the more you do it in a row, that bonus doubles each time, so eventually you're getting shit tons of experience per sale. And then the game decides, that's too easy for you. I'm going to throw in this bitch woman who wants to sell you shit at a ridiculously high price.
Yeah, and it's going to break your combo, and it's like, it's fine.
It's like, you fucking cow.
It's because it counts from buying as well as selling. That's the problem with that thing.
Yeah.
It's like, if you don't buy the thing, then it counts as a fail. It's like, what if I don't want that for it?
Get out of my shop, you tut.
But the rival girl who doesn't really turn out to be much of a rival or whatever, you can sell stuff to her for such ridiculous prices. Particularly if it's already 200, if it's already in the double price zone where it's like normally you go to like 250 or 275, you can easily sell stuff to her for like 320%. It's like, gosh!
Well, this is the other thing. It's like I have looked up a sort of guide and stuff on the sort of ranges you can sell stuff into, and it never works out like that for me. It's like my target's always so much smaller. It's like you were saying, like, you can sell it for about 250%, blah blah. Fuck, can you? It's like, that never works, except for Alouette. Yeah, you can sell to her ridiculously expensive, but to everyone else, that never works. Yeah, and the bloody housewives as well. They're so inconsistent. They always want to haggle, so you can never get the combo off that.
I don't know.
Well, you can on occasion, but they really want to haggle more often. And the fucking little girl can't make up their sodding minds whether that you can't buy something cheaper than 100%. The little bitch.
It's just like, I don't know. Maybe there's some element of, because there's the sort of suggestion that like you form a relationship with customers if you do better with them, but that never seems to. It's not, there's no game mechanic apparent that you can see. But
well, no, you occasionally get that heart icon if you undersell quite a lot.
Yeah, but it's like that. It's not a transparent game mechanic at all if it is even there.
No, it doesn't even really tell you about it much.
No, but then it's just like, I don't know. I know it's like I could get it quite consistent where it's like, our little girls, you never bother going above 100 to like 112% because they always fail, and it's just like. Old people, you can maybe go to 130 sometimes, but it's safer to go to like 127.
Yeah.
It's like you start learning the pattern, I guess.
And basically, I'm trying to build up my merchant combo as fast as possible because it's my merchant level, because that's where more interesting stuff happens as you start getting that up. So I'm purposefully underselling at the moment just to try and...
I mean, that's the thing where it's like, once you finish the loan payment, it's just like, now I don't even have to try and sell for profit, I just sell everything at 100% because... Because I'm not needing to make money any longer. Which is a bit weird, considering the whole point of the game.
You can do what you want then. But anyway, it's still cool. It's still nice. It's kind of my go-to at lunch breaks at work still. So
it's a nice, relaxing lunchtime game.
Yeah, it's fine. You can just zone out completely.
Cool.
Except for when you're adventuring, which can be tense if you fucking die, and it's like, yeah. I can't use that cocking Caillou kid, he's shit.
Oh, what the magicians do?
Yeah.
You just have to use that one spell he has over and over.
Well, the fire.
No, the rapid fire bullets thing.
Oh, yeah, that's quite useful.
And then it's basically you use that on every enemy apart from slimes, and then you recharge your mana by beating up slimes with the stick.
I'm like 2 weeks through. Like 2 or 3 weeks through Loop 2, and I still only have those 3 characters. It's like Elan hasn't joined me yet.
Super slow as well.
Yeah, Elan hasn't joined me yet. The sort of elf girl you meet in the Amber Garden hasn't joined yet. And it's
Yeah, you get those so slowly. Although really,
Armour hasn't joined yet. Although she's really difficult to sell to as well.
Yeah, I don't even have her. That's like the last character, as far as I can tell. I mean, obviously, the stupid ancient robot.
Yeah.
It's obviously going to be ridiculous.
Which seems to have no knowledge of money somehow.
No. But yeah, the characters. It's like, really, obviously, you only need Louis because he's just the easiest one to use by a million miles.
Oh, no, I play as the thief.
Well,
super speed.
Yeah, the speed does help to get through stuff quickly. But Louis is just solid. And he has awesome specials. Or a awesome special. I mean, you only need the sweep. That's about it. The spear woman is okay if you can cope with the slowness.
Spear woman? Oh, I haven't met her yet either.
How you? Maybe they don't always unlock in the same order. But spear woman is she's you find her in the dungeon and then she's retardedly lost, and you're like, how have you managed to end up here? This is a dungeon. What are you doing? Get the fuck out. Come to my shop.
Racketeer.
Yeah. I don't know why you have
we've bitched about that for some time now.
Check it out on Steam. But yeah, it's quite strange. Japanese.
It's kind of surprising we've talked about that so much.
They're doing
a couple of times we've talked about it.
The guys that retranslated it and put it are doing the Japanese company that made the original Racketeer. They're doing their previous game as their next translation.
Oh, I see, clever.
So,
okay.
Which will be a bit weird for us because apparently it's a bit less original. It's more of a straight good dungeon crawler.
Right.
But it'll be weird for us because it has reused assets and things. Or except they weren't reused when that one was made because they reused them in Racketeer.
That is going to be confusing then.
Yeah. But I don't think it's going to go down quite so well because of that. It's going to confuse people unless they know the backstory.
And it's not got the original, the appeal of the originality of Racketeer. That's kind of the point.
True.
Yeah.
I think they're aware that they seem to be quite they're taking it. I read an interview with the translator guys, and it's yeah, it's quite interesting. They're quite just taking it as they go at the moment. Racketeer did so unexpectedly well for them that they're just taking on a load of projects at the moment and see how well they go. And they're just sort of they're not big headed about it at all, thinking, yeah, we can keep this up. We're pretty good, but it's a bit of a rocky game we're in. So it's quite good that they're honest about it and they know what they're doing.
Cool. Right, I better get on to me, I suppose.
Yeah. How are we doing for time now that we've wasted a lot of it and we'll do Dan last as normal?
I know, we've got 25 minutes, so we're okay.
Okay, not too bad.
Reasonably. But yes.
Only less than a quarter of the podcast.
Yeah, less than a quarter there. There was a sale on Take-Two stuff, and I'm your humble Rockstar correspondent, so I bought Undead Nightmare and what's the pack? Ballad of Gay Tony to finish off the Grand Theft Auto 4 story, but I haven't played that. I've just been playing Red Dead Redemption's Undead Nightmare pack, which is the sort of zombie-themed add-on for Red Dead. I now kind of understand why they were priced the way they were. Red Dead Undead Nightmare isn't like a big episode in the same way that Lost and Damned or Ballad of Gay Tony are for GTA 4. It's much smaller, I think. Well, I haven't finished it yet, but it seems much smaller in scope. It is funny, I have to admit. That's probably the best thing about it, is the way that the characters react to the situation. Is just the original characters from the original game, but the way they react to the weird situation of zombies is pretty hilarious. I mean, there's some really deadpan I mean, John Marston is just hilarious because he's really quite unfazed by everything generally, but it even extends to zombies. Like, he's just really matter of fact about everything, and some of the other characters from the original game suit the setting weirdly well. Like, Seth was already a really strange bloke who dug people, dead people up out of the ground to steal, he was a grave looter. So that's already weird. And then if you add the undead into the situation, it kind of fits.
I mean, pissed off where it's like, oh, they're ruining my business by coming back to life.
Sort of. Well, he kind of likes the zombies. He doesn't like people.
What? Because he doesn't. It's like, now the effort of digging is removed.
Exactly.
So just knock them over and steal their stuff.
Well, he tells you to go and clear out the graveyards, and then you do that, which is quite fun. You have to. You get like a burning torch, and you burn some of the coffins that are above the ground, and then they rise up out of the ground, and you have to kill them. So, and then Wes Dickens is like a snake oil merchant from the first game, and of course he's trying to sell people a fake cure for the zombies and stuff. Yeah, and then presumably you have to go and find out, because I haven't gone down to Mexico, but he's going, well, what's the cure? Because his John Marston's wife and child get like infected in the first scene. So he ties them up and he goes out searching for a cure, and naturally, well, he's really matter of fact about everything, like I say. Anyway, it's really funny. So and you think it's saying, oh, it's Aztecs, it's from Mexico, that's where it's coming from, it's a curse or something, so we're gonna go down there. But I don't know, like, it is weird, the atmosphere, like, because like lots of like the original game has these beautiful landscapes and these amazing weather effects, but of course that all gets trampled on because everything is moody and gloomy all the time. So it's like always a permanently grey, horrible day with like mist and like light, sun rays bursting through these dark clouds and stuff. So everything looks post-apocalyptic all the time. I suppose like Fallout or something. But it kind of...
Particularly Fallout, there's sort of a reason for it.
Yeah. Well, no, it's a sort of, undead gloom or something. I don't know what it is. But, it kind of messes with the... And also, like we were saying in the Game of the Year podcast, how good the score is. Well, obviously, it's got to have a new weird zombie elements to the score and stuff. And that kind of, messes that up. I mean, it's fine what it is, but there isn't much of it. And so it does kind of screw with the atmosphere of the original game. But if you don't mind that, then, I mean, the combat's really cool, because, there's different zombie types, like special infected almost, Left 4 Dead style,
exactly,
in amongst the normal guys. And you have to headshot them to kill them, basically. Well, no, you don't have to, but it takes quite a few hits, but only takes one headshot to kill any zombie, I think. Although maybe the toughest special infected, maybe not. But anyway, because of course you can use the Deadeye, but I've been using Deadeye differently from in the original game. Because usually in the original game, once I got it upgraded, I go into Deadeye and then you'd pick your targets using the right bumper, and then you fire off at once. But I found the way to do it with the zombies is to go into Deadeye and just aim up at one of their heads and then fire, which takes you out of Deadeye, and just repeat that rather than choosing multiple shots. Because that seems to be the way to do it, because some of the zombies are really fast and they scramble along the ground, so you just click in. And because you get Deadeye back from killing zombies, then you don't run out of it too fast. And at first I thought it would be quite survival horror-y in that there would be a lack of ammunition, but it turns out that once you start saving the towns and stuff, you actually get quite a bit of ammunition. Yeah, so it's sort of funny and a bit creepy in places, like, because you can't be funny when you're out in the middle of the nowhere and you're being attacked by zombie cougars and stuff. I mean, it is quite creepy in places. I mean, bears are scary enough already, and I'm terrified of coming across a zombie bear in the woods. But there is this mission where you have to. That sound
pretty horrible, actually.
Yeah, yeah, because they're pretty terrifying anyway, the bears, but the grizzlies. But there's also this mission where you have to kill these Sasquatches. Like, because it can have because it's mythical, because it's got zombies, you might as well throw in a whole bunch of other mythical creatures, right? So you have to kill the Sasquatches, and then at the end you find the last Sasquatch, and he's like really sad that someone's been going around killing all his friends, and all he does is eat berries and stuff. And you're like, no, you eat babies. Everyone knows that. It's like, no. Oh, anyway, it's quite sad. Yeah, there's loads of like dark humor in it. It's good. But I found that because I decided to install it, the main game as well for loading pauses, but I find that's a problem. It seems to, installing the game when I was playing the normal game seemed to help a lot, but doing it when I was playing this Undead expansion pack, which is also installed, it kind of messed up level of detail in a similar way to what seems to happen if you install Grand Theft Auto 4. It seems to get very confused and not load sections in front of you. But as soon as I uninstalled the main game and kept just Undead Nightmare installed and just ran it from the disc, normally, it seems to have fixed that. So watch out for that. Because I was like, it wasn't this bad. I remember open world jank, but I don't remember it happening that I ran I rode my horse in front of areas that had loaded. That's no good. Yeah. So
it's a weird one because you're not entirely sure why that would even happen.
Yeah.
Because if it's just if the Xbox is just directing the loading from the hard disk, it's like maybe the game can't cope with the increased speed. Maybe there's some real precision in that. And
to do with that optimization, yeah.
Yeah,
it happened in GTA 4.
It's probably a thread synchronization thing where it just didn't happen when it was loading from the disk because the speeds are in a certain way. But as soon as you speed one element up, all of a sudden you end up with synchronization issues that cause things to go wrong in unexpected ways.
It happened with GTA 4. If you install GTA 4, you can end up driving down streets that haven't loaded. It looks really strange. So watch out for that.
Is it like the old Burnout 3 bug I used to have on my PlayStation where the disc, for some reason, it would just fuck up every now and then, not load bits of tracks. There'd just be giant sections of road texture missing.
Yeah, it's like missing texture, but like all the texture seems to be missing in a whole street, so it's all blurred out and like super low level of detail. And then it pops in eventually.
It's kind of like the Unreal Engine's like loading thing.
Yeah, but
where it loads
to the
textures,
extreme. But... Yeah, yeah. Because obviously Grand Theft Auto has to be able to render a building from across the other side of the river,
Yeah.
But it has that super low level of detail. So it's like you've walked right up like to anything.
That.
Yeah. So you've walked right up to that almost, it feels like. Anyway, but but that doesn't detract from the game once you remember to uninstall it. Which is weird. Anyway, so yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I'm enjoying it, but I'm kind of more looking forward to Gay Tony because it does kind of mess with the atmosphere and the memories of of Red Dead. It kind of makes me want to play the main game again rather than go around. The zombies are great and all that's great, but it does muck with what I liked about the first game in some ways. Although it's worth it just for the cutscenes, to be honest. I mean, it's pretty cool if you like the characters and stuff. But yeah, the atmosphere stuff is, yeah. I'm glad that it's a little thing. I mean, it seems to me that the zombie theme would almost fit better with Grand Theft Auto. I mean, can you imagine Nico Bellic as Will Smith in I Am Legend? You know, the streets of Liberty City, there's no one but you and a load of zombies. That would be awesome, wouldn't it? I don't know. But,
Isn't that kind of what Left 4 Dead is like anyway? But...
Yeah, I suppose. I mean,
yeah,
the combat system
like...
in Red Dead is a lot better for zombies than the Grand Theft Auto combat system would be a disaster.
Yeah, because it's like Left 4 Dead is zombies in cities, or well, sometimes, or in the forest, in the woods. But it's like, I guess, zombies in the Wild West. That's a place they haven't been yet.
That's true, but it's a bit strange.
What about Arctic zombies? If we had Arctic zombies in,
well, of course, was the thing.
Well, I don't think the Arctic zombies would be very fun because the Arctic is sort of devoid of cover and stuff.
They made a game out of the thing, though. That's like Arctic zombies, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess.
Well, it's like an Arctic base that gets infected by an alien. John Carpenter's The Thing, or whatever. I think they made a game out of that. Anyway.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think they did.
Where else can we put zombies? On the moon.
Moon zombies. Well, the thing is,
underwater zombies. We haven't had underwaters. What about? We've had zombie piranhas, like crazy, super dangerous piranhas, but not actually sort of like actual sort of underwater zombie people.
Well, then you're just getting into like that's less zombies and more like Swamp Thing or something.
I guess
that's true.
That's just underwater zombies.
Oh yeah. But no, that's just an underwater monster, though. Underwater zombie has to be a dead person that's like reanimated by the mysterious water in this one particular lake or something.
Oh, another thing about Undead Nightmare is you get in normal Red Dead you can find different horses and to tame them or whatever, but in Undead Nightmare you can find the 4 horses of the apocalypse. You see. And they have different. It's really cool. I've got Famine now, which Famine is like impossible to kill, and then what else is there? War, I think, is on fire, permanently on fire, and like when you run over zombies, they set on fire, stuff like that.
Does it hurt your ass while you're riding?
I don't know. I don't think so.
You gradually take health damage as you're sort of sitting there.
I haven't found one yet. It is a bit strange because all of the mythical, horses. They have infinite stamina, which is really cool because you can go really fast all the time. But it also means that, because the way that the spurring system works is you tap A to spur the horse on, but you don't have to tap A all the time because you'll run out of stamina normally. So it's usually tap, 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 hold, tap, 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 hold. But because they have infinite stamina, it's tap, 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 tap all the time, which is a bit lame. These long rides, and you don't really have to, but I mean, if you want to go maximum speed, you just tap it all the time, which is kind of annoying. But yeah.
I think they could have come up with a system that just hold it down or something.
Well, if you hold it down, you keep speed constant, but you slow up after a while if you're going at maximum speed, and then you have to spur the horse on. That's the idea. I mean, it does work really well in the main game, but it kind of breaks once you remove that stamina bar from the mechanic by giving them infinite stamina. It kind of breaks the whole thing to an extent. I don't know, but yeah, it's cool though. Yeah. So yeah, so I've been playing that, and I'll get into Ballad of Gay Tony sometime. But I think we've had enough Rockstar stuff for the time being. Let's see what else I've got. Yeah.
The mighty gay Tony, the mighty gay.
I haven't got much else to talk about. Just kept playing a Super Meat Boy. Just going through that quite slowly because I find it nicer to play in short bursts where my hand doesn't cramp and I don't get too frustrated. It's nice to come into it and like beat a bunch of levels and be like, this is way cool, and not get into a really frustrating patch, which is so easy to do. Had a go getting some of the bandages in the forest world, the first world, and that was quite fun.
I still can't find one of them. It's really annoying. It's like I'm missing one, and then it's like, but I'd have to look through all of these goddamn levels.
Yeah. Right. Sorry.
That might have to get guided. Look it up. Because to be honest, when are you ever going to find these fuckers?
I know, some of them are impossible to find. I don't know how you find some of the bandages.
They're like hidden behind stuff, and there's just like a single white pixel, and you can just see one white pixel that jiggles, and you're like, oh, that's a bandage.
Yeah. Right, we've got about 10 minutes left to talk about the NGP, or whatever the hell they're going to call it. The PSP 2 has been announced. Have you seen this thing?
Yes, I have.
What are your thoughts?
They're going a bit mental with it, to be honest, aren't they? It's like touchscreen front screen, touchscreen back screen.
Touchscreen on the back. Dual analog, literally sticks, not even sliders. They're actually sticks.
Mini sticks, yeah.
From what it can look like. Yeah, touchscreen front, touchscreen back. What, like flash carts for the games, which is probably cool.
That's better than the UMDs anyway. I'm glad they got one of those.
And absolutely massive specs, like ridiculously better than the 3DS in terms of power.
To be honest though, it's like, while it sounds amazing on paper and it's everything it should be and it's everything the first one, it fixes a lot of the problems with the first one presumably. It's unless Sony really pull it out of the bag with their game support, it's just going to be another, meh product.
Wow. Because
the PSP at the time was quite impressive, but there's a crap lineup of games.
Yeah, I mean, all the launch games for PSP were better than everything that came out over the rest of the life of the PSP.
Yeah, pretty
people
much.
still play Lumines.
There's a few standouts, but yeah, Lumines 2 was the highlight, and Wipeout Pure was Wipeout Pulse. Was genius.
Yeah, but still.
And, well, then Valkyria Chronicles 2 is supposed to be good, and
still, we wanted that on PS3.
You can play Final Fantasy 7 on it now.
yeah. But I mean, because I was thinking that the 3DS is too expensive. This is going to be, I haven't announced the price, but it's obviously going to be way more expensive than the 3DS, I think.
It's got to be quite expensive.
Clearly. And I don't know. I think we made a whole argument about, maybe, is it just us being, or is it just me being tight? Or is it, or...
Consoles are getting more expensive, I think.
Or is it me not...
New consoles are more expensive.
Me not having the kind of opportunity to play... Well, not needing to play games on the go, really, because I don't have a commute or whatever at the moment. And even if I did, I'd probably be, driving or whatever. So I don't know when people play these devices. I mean, because I have a PC right in front of me and a console. There's the games on PSP 2. They're talking about an Uncharted game that's like nice graphically, but I'd rather play Uncharted on a console. It's like, is it just me or that isn't in the right demographic to be? It's just me that thinks these are too expensive, or are there people out there who are like, oh, I want to be able to play these games when I'm on the tube for half an hour or something? I don't know. And I'm willing to pay for
these devices work for long train journeys, and they work for long flights, and they're
good for airplanes, yeah.
And they work for anything that's well, if when I'm flying out to America again soon, it would have been quite nice to have a device that I could use for gaming with some reliability. I mean, I've got my work laptop and my busted DS and my PSP, but it's the PSP will probably be the lifeline, but it's it's still not. I know what you mean. That none of those things seem particularly suited.
I mean, are there enough people taking enough airline flights to sell enough PSP 2s? For people who want to play console games effectively. I don't know.
Yeah. The problem I have is that Sony seems to have got the wrong idea. It's like no one seems. I know what you mean. It's not that the hardware is bad for portable gaming. It's
amazing. I mean, it's got the touch screen and the dual analog sticks. I mean, it'd be awesome.
It's that I don't think they make the right games for a portable device. It's they seem to want to bring all of their big screen entertainment to the handheld, which isn't really that great. I mean, the iPhone and the DS are just examples of how those, most people on the iPhone and most people on the DS don't actually play the real hardcore games. They sort of play the ones you can pick up and put down in quick sessions. The ones that you can pick up and play for a long time are often irritating, because if there's an interruption or something you need to deal with, you can't just put it down. Yeah, and then at that point, you might as well be playing it on the big screen rather than on a portable device. The point of it is gone.
But that's why the DS had the close the lid thing, I guess.
Yeah, and the PSP does have the standby mode, which doesn't always work. But the problem with the PSP standby mode was that the battery life is so short that chances are by the
true.
time you turn it back on, it's just gone.
Well, the battery life will be better on the PSP too. I mean, no moving parts for a start. And yeah, I mean, battery technology is a lot better now.
No, yeah, it's considerably better than it was back then. But...
Yeah.
And presumably, they'll make it with low, considerably more, what do you call it, low power usage components.
Yeah.
Now that they've sort of come of age again.
But, I don't know. I mean, there's nothing we can say about the games, because, I mean, what happened on the PSP
really
might not happen
again.
There's
a new Ridge Racer.
Oh, God. I don't want a new Ridge Racer.
Oh, no, wait, no, I might get confused
That's on
with Ridge
3DS.
Racer 3D, yeah.
Although I think they've announced one for consoles as well. But
they don't... I love how Joystick described that. It's like, another new console, another new Ridge Racer game.
Yeah.
The only reason Ridge Racer sells is because a new console comes out that they can put a completely unoriginal title on.
Yeah, it's true.
And Ridge Racer 3D is doing exactly the same thing by saying, oh, it's a new game, what we're going to do? We're going to release the same Ridge Racer game with the same tracks.
I quite like Ridge Racer on the PSP, but I don't want to play that again on the PSP 2 with better graphics. I mean,
no,
thank you.
Admittedly, the PSP one shook it up a bit because they had added the boost thing, so it was
true.
kind of new. Holy crap, they did something different.
Yeah, that's true.
They haven't done since.
No, I don't know.
Oh, I mean, Ridge Racer's just a big fail these days.
I mean, you might be able to do some cool things with that touchpad on the back, but I
can see why they did it, because it means your fingers don't get in the way of the screen.
Yeah, no, that's cool. And I'd still got the touchscreen on the front for those kinds of games. You can still play Meteos or whatever.
So you could play like a touch-based, like a dual shooter or something, where you're moving something around the battlefield using the back of the screen. You could still do that. But if you need precision, like in a block puzzler, or say they make Meteos on PSP, then... wouldn't that be great, actually, if they took the music concept of Meteos and used the PSP's power and the touchscreen to make it work?
I don't know. It's like, you can't make it more... It's the whole point of it is sort of it's less... It's not like Lumens where it's like actual music. It's more like...
No, but they could do more with it, couldn't they? They could make it slightly more sort of music related, in that the sounds are more impressive and the music loops are a little bit longer than like 2 bars.
I don't think they wanted them to be longer because it's like, it changes depending on how full the level is and stuff.
I don't know. It could be cool. I always thought that that Meteos could have done more of the music elements.
Do you think they'd be able to port Child of Eden to PSP 2, like almost direct? Don't know. But
that's another one of those things that really needs an amazing sound system and an amazing setup.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm so looking forward to that.
That'd be cool. Yeah. I wonder how many people are actually going to play that with Kinect, and how many people are just going to buy it and play with a controller.
I'll be happy to play it on a controller. I don't care.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, almost everyone would be, I would have thought. I don't know. Well, that might be quite fun to try with a Kinect. But...
Oh yeah, definitely. I'd want to give it a go, but it's not a reason for me to have a Kinect.
Yeah.
Is there ever going to be one, though?
That's the thing. Is there ever going to be
other than disposable income? No.
Other than, I don't know, girlfriend activities.
It's good for parties and
casual
stuff.
Gaming, yeah.
Dance Central's pretty awesome.
Well,
did you see the hack to do black and white with the Kinect?
Yeah,
it's amazing.
I think we talked about that before.
Oh, did we? Oh, fair enough. What are we doing? 2 minutes and 2.5 minutes.
Right. Suddenly.
Suddenly.
What the hell is that?
That was a really terrible in-joke, but I don't even know why that exists.
No, I don't know where that... It was something like we were just trying to break up an awkward silence or something at some point, so it was right.
Oh dear. Well, listeners, I hope you've enjoyed our rambling once again. We
sadness to the White Stripes. Sadness.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I don't think. I mean, they haven't released an album for 4 years, and
really? Has it been that long?
Yeah, it's been that long since Sicky Thump, and like this way, they'll never release a bad album ever. So that's quite nice. I mean, there's so many bands that end up releasing. I mean, every White Stripes album is amazing in its way. And there's so many bands that just release mediocre albums. You know,
I can see why he sort of did it. You know, he's moved on to Raconteurs and the
Dead Weather and all that.
Yeah, that's it. And they are great in their own ways. It's not the same as the White Stripes.
No.
But I think Jack White just wants to do the bigger, more grounder sort of.
I guess. I don't know. I'm sure he'll do loads of awesome things in the future. Not a big Dead Weather fan, to be honest, and I kind of find it irritating the way that he's so good at playing the drums. It's like, stop being so talented. just
maybe they had a falling out, you know.
Yeah, no, I don't think
it's like, you can play drums better than me. It's no longer working.
No, but the White Stripes, almost the whole point was that the drumming was super primitive and simple because that really helped the music in its way. Anyway. But I think that Dead Weather like almost too self-consciously cool with their all black get up and Alison Mosshart being all I don't know.
Maybe, but I like the music.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It's pretty awesome. The sort of like super sort of it's hard to describe. It's almost like it's fuzzy but not fuzzy sort of guitars. That sort of
Right. Goodbye everybody, and join us again on the Enemy podcast. No, the Saladcast. That's on.
The Enemy. Oh yeah.